Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Tuesday, December 6th, 2022, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORION NWSF, or the YouTube super chat right here. Let's talk a little NFL and fantasy football week 14 Q&A. I know a lot of people are on the fringe of making the playoffs. Maybe you already got a spot, in the final four or the final six. Your boy's 12-1. I'm trying to go 13-1, and we go into the playoffs. So I wasn't able to complete the full undefeated season, but most people don't. So I'm trying to be able to go all the way, and any type of sports headlines that we want to go over, we definitely can do that. I got the Denver Nuggets on right now versus the Dallas Mavericks. Want to see a little bit of Joker, a little bit of Luka, and I'll be able to help, just talk a little NFL, talk a little MLB signings. If we want to go over some fantasy football Q&A, I'll be live on Twitter for the next few hours, as well as live here on YouTube. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. And we already got a $20 dono before the stream started. I don't know if Mike thought I wasn't streaming today or not, but he sent me $20, assuming maybe that I wasn't streaming, or maybe he couldn't show up, or if there was no show. He doesn't have social media for Twitter or Instagram. So there was really no way of me letting him know unless he just gets the notification on YouTube and we see him show up. But fantastic start for us to get to the $20 dono, 80 to go to hit the goal. And like I said, I imagine we're going to have a few people coming in from Twitter as well as YouTube. And there's a couple people on Twitter that try to do this. But it's kind of comical because a lot of them aren't even qualified to give advice. But you see a couple people on Twitter doing it. That's fine. But unless you have a good record like 12-1, or, you got a solid record instead of being someone like floating at 500 and you're trying to give advice to other people on Twitter, it's pretty comical. But, it is what it is. The time and effort that you put on a fantasy football, team, that's the type of effort you're going to get in return. That is big facts. But shout out to my boy, Mike, with the big 20, and hopefully he'll show up so that way I can, throw up a few pictures for him. Bang, 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 bang. And he sent me a message saying no show today, which I don't know if that means that he didn't think I was doing a show. He's not going to be able to show up, but regardless, he decided to go with the 20, which is fantastic. So that definitely helps the cause. Things have been kind of hard in the last couple months, so every dollar counts. Sarah in the building, how are you? I know you are not feeling too well, and you're going to stick it out for about an hour or so. And like I said, I'll go for probably that 3 to 4 hour mark, just depending on where we're at on donos and whatnot. But glad to see you in the room. And it wasn't the same without you yesterday, because it's like, I don't want to have to say things on the dono side myself. Megan luckily stepped in and was doing some of the keyboard stuff because Elliot didn't show up and Jameson came really, really late. So at least we had Megan step up in that role. And luckily Cyberpunk came in at the end and got us to the number. If he didn't do that, then we wouldn't have been anywhere near the goal. So glad to have you in the room, even if it's only for a few minutes. And like I said, Nicker in the building, what to do? Appreciate that. $20. Let's get to a hundo. No problem. Yeah. And anything you can do on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just anyone that, and also on Twitter, I actually have the live stream where I'm actually live on there. So you can do a post, but if you actually can like and retweet the actual live stream on Twitter, that'll get it to your people on your feed. And you never know, there might be someone that's in your feed that desperately needs a second pair of eyes or a question to be answered, since we are going to the playoffs. I'm in the playoffs. Sarah's in the playoffs. Jake is in the playoffs. There's only one other spot left. So we'll have to kind of see where it goes. But based off the standings this season for us, your boy, Northwest Sports Fanatics, 12-1. And then we got Shepherd at 7-6. Fluffers, 7-6. And one of those two is going to make the playoffs. Holly is 5-8. And we got Hershey Highway, who quit after week 1 or week 2, who's 1-12, which is very unfortunate. And then on the opposite side, on the West, we have Sarah leading the division at 10-3. Great job. And I knew that you would do a great job and have a great record. Team Guerrero, Jake has stepped up by doing a lot of transactions throughout the year, and he's 8-5. He's in third place. Then we got Brute Crushes, 5-8. Chief Will Cheat, 5-8, and Buck Dynasty, 5-8. So, like I said, it's been very tough for the league, I would assume going against me and Sarah, lots of losses there, but it all depends on how you draft. And if you actually look at me and Sarah's teams, I would say her team, she's stuck with a good majority of the team, but I would about say 90% of her team is what she drafted. I would say about probably 80% of my team, 75, 80. A good chunk of my heavy hitters I drafted, but I obviously had to pick up guys on the bench to make my bench better. Also had to pick up the Dallas Cowboy defense, number one defense, and I got Jason Myers. So if I would have stuck with the Bills defense and Harrison Butker, I would not be 12-1 at this time. So hope everyone is doing well, and we're just kind of having a laid-back stream. Like I said, not doing anything super serious, just going to talk NFL, talk a little NBA, MLB, free agent signings. I'm going to watch Luka. I'm going to watch the Joker. I was watching a little bit of the Chiefs and the Bengals, but I already obviously watched that game already. So even though I'm not incredibly hardcore into the NBA, if it's got two of the top 5 players playing, like if I get Joker, I get Luka Doncic, right? If I get like Steph Curry, if I get some of the bigger name guys, you know what? If I get Tatum in there, yeah, maybe I'll watch. I know, I think this weekend they're going to start having the games on Saturday, and they're going to do, was it Celtics with Tatum versus Steph Curry and the Warriors? That would be something that I might consider watching. But again, I'm going to be going to the Blazer game this Saturday. So, I'm going to try to, grind it out every single day. And like I said, I've been grinding very, very hard, and it'll just be nice to have a day where I get to go to the arcade, play, NBA Hang Time, NFL Blitz, some pinball, Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, and just have a great time, get some good food, go to the Blazer game against the T-Wolves, and then obviously we'll be back right at it on Sunday. And then starting next week or a few weeks down the road, we're going to start getting games on the NFL side on Saturday and Sunday. So they're going to start chunking up the schedule and splitting it up. So that'll be kind of nice. So then, when things are a little bit slower on Saturday, boom, we're going to have games to do. And I'm going to continue, as long as we continue to get donos, I'll continue to get the upgraded thumbnails as well. That is big facts. You're not sold yet, huh? Yeah. Well, a lot of the younger fans, were completely thinking they were going to draft a quarterback, obviously next year. And I said, listen, you know what I mean? Like, you weren't even supposed to go to the playoffs against Tampa. Did you really think you were going to fucking win? A lot of these young fans probably did because they're fucking stupid. But when you get like the guys that have been watching the Eagles for a good chunk of their life, it takes time to build a championship contender. And you didn't even have a true number one receiver. Now you got A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith doesn't have to have that pressure of coming out from winning the Heisman, being a very skinny, undersized wide receiver and having all that pressure. So now you got a full, complete team. And you're reaping the benefits of it. And it looks like that, there's a good chance that the Eagles will, since the 49ers lost Jimmy, I thought that was going to be the biggest threat to you guys. Yeah, the Cowboys and Vikings will also be there. But does anyone really think that any team can go into Philly, right, in the playoffs and the NFC Championship game and win in Philly? Hell no. Dallas won't be able to do it. Minnesota won't be able to do it. I thought the Niners might be the only team, if Jimmy stayed healthy and they ran the ball effectively, played great defense, made sure that Nick Bosa and the rest of the crew was healthy, they would have a slight chance to keep it maybe somewhat closer. I'm not necessarily saying winning, but, maybe that's the only team that could really be like a good game. Like, yeah, we might end up getting an epic Cowboy-Eagle game, an NFC Championship game, or an epic Viking and Eagle game. But I like what I'm seeing from Philadelphia, and I think Philadelphia, you almost could pencil them in to the NFC Championship game and Super Bowl. But now we just have to wait on the AFC side. Is it going to be the Bills? Is it going to be the Chiefs? Is it going to be the Bengals? One of those three teams. It could always be a surprise team, like the Miami Dolphins. I'm not sure if the Titans are good enough, to make it to the AFC Championship game this year. At times they've looked great. At times they've looked very bad. So I still think the Titans are a good team, but I'm not sure if they're going to be on the same caliber as some of those others. And Miami's kind of a wild card because it's got Tua, you got Tyreek, you got Waddle. Tennessee doesn't have that kind of impact on offense except for Derrick Henry. So I think that, Miami might get a slight edge over Tennessee, but obviously we know Tennessee's defense is much better than Miami's, but we'll have to kind of wait there. Derrick in the building, what to do? He said, we stink. I'm tired of the circus we got going in Nolans. What happened? Not one single Saint fan showed up for the stream. Is that how it goes? You guys can only come into the room when you guys are dominating and beating the Buccaneers' ass year in and year out. And then the 1 year where you guys are worse than us, nobody can even show up. No one can even come in. No one can talk shit. No one can come in and say, hey, let's watch the game together. Every single Saint fan that supposedly supports your boy, not one showed up. Pretty comical. Not one person. Maybe they thought they were going to lose and they didn't want to come in here. It's not like I'm going to rub it in. Fucking our team fucking sucks too. All right. You know what I mean? But I thought that was crazy. Kind of like the Rams fans. They kept telling me that they were going to win the Super Bowl after winning it last year. I haven't seen any Rams fans since week 2. What happened? You know what I mean? I thought you guys were going to win the Super Bowl. Now you got Baker Mayfield. Oh, I guess you're going to win the Super Bowl now. But it's very funny when you get these people that love to talk shit, that always love to brag, and then things get a little tough. And then people disappear. Rams fans, where are you? You know what I mean? I thought Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. I was like, you know what? I know you got Bobby Wagner, but you don't got Von Miller. You don't got Odell. It's not going to be the same. No, Ryan, you're stupid. We're going back to back. Well, how's that working out for you, Rams fans? Not looking very good, are you? Neither are the Buccaneers or the Packers, but pretty comical. You got to stick with your team, and you got to ride with your team through good, bad, and ugly. But that's one thing where it's like, if you're going to come at me when things are good for your team, that's fine. But when things aren't going so good, you can still show up. You don't have to go and run and hide. Come on, Rams fans. Where are you? Where are you? He said, I don't care that my fantasy team shit the bed. I'm learning a lot every year. Yeah. And like I said, if you actually had some pretty good pieces on your team, and I was looking at, the other teams there, obviously Shep and Fluffers have a slightly better record, but you and Holly's team and Chief, and even Buck Dynasty, you guys are all 5-8, but just with a couple little, couple more pieces of effort, throughout the year, getting more players on your bench and being able to swap guys out and being a little bit more consistent, I think you could have flip-flopped your record to 8-5 instead of 5-8 for you, for Holly, for Chief, and Buck Dynasty. Sometimes all it takes is one or two guys that you get on the wire. Since I don't allow trades, it really shows who's great at fantasy, because there's a lot of times where people will make a trade, right? And then all of a sudden they go from a team that's got a couple wins, and then all of a sudden they finish maybe 8-5, and they don't deserve it because some team just gave up, like Hershey Highway 1-12. I hate seeing people just give up on their teams and whatnot. But like I said, you are learning every year, but it also shows you if you put in effort, right? And you're smart and you know what you're doing, and you'll get the results. Sometimes you have bad luck. Guys get hurt, Sometimes, your whole main roster, gets fucking wrecked. They get injured. They get out for the year. ACL, PCL, MCL, right? But also, too, you have to kind of know the trends. And whatever player does really, really good the year before, you don't pick that fucking player. That's why I didn't pick Cooper Kupp. You don't go for guys that have career years. If they have a career year the year before, chances are they're not going to have a career year 2 years in a row. That's one of my secrets that I usually don't tell people, but those are little things. I mean, you can always do it for certain guys like Mahomes. That's a no-brainer. But when it comes to like running backs and wide receivers, excluding Mahomes and maybe Travis Kelce, you know what I mean? Like, you don't really, running backs and wide receivers, you have to be very, very careful. And like I said, sometimes it's skill, sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's a combination of skill and luck. But the bottom line, hey, Bucks win yesterday, which was crazy. I don't really want to go to the playoffs, to be very honest, but if the Saints are going to lose like that, I have no choice. I guess we're going to be going to the playoffs, and I don't really expect us to beat anybody, but you never know. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But you are, like I said, every year is a little bit better. But again, if you really want to get good in fantasy, you do one team. If you do 2 or 3 teams, you're never going to be good because it's just taking too much attention away from the one team you should focus on. And also it depends on how many moves you make. If you're only making a couple moves a year, you're not going to be good at fantasy. I made over 100 this season. That's like 50 more than anyone else in the league. And then you look at my record, I'm 12-1. So, I haven't finished any worse than third. So definitely learning moments from year to year. So don't draft a Saints player before anyone else, AK over Henry. Don't draft off the top. Debo is projected higher than Diggs, smartest pick. And don't go auto draft in later rounds. I got Kirk. Woo. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. I'm not surprised. I knew that was going to happen because obviously the turmoil with the AJ Brown and They were going to probably do it at the end of the year anyways, but they decided to do it during the beginning, middle of the season. So not sure if that's going to work out for them and motivate them to get more wins. But, a lot of teams are going to lose to the Eagles. Titans are a good football team, but I'm really concerned as we go deeper in the playoffs how far they're going to go. That's big facts. Yeah, but the thing is, honestly, I can draft 10th, and I can still finish in the top 3. So, a lot of people, they're like, well, if you pick first, second, third, or fourth, you got a huge advantage. True, if you know what you're doing, but, just because you were later in the draft, if it's snake and you pick 10th, then you get 10th and 11th. So I know with my skill set that it doesn't matter. I don't use the draft position as an excuse. I finished in the top 3 drafting first. I finished in the top 3 drafting second. I finished in the top 3 drafting last. So, it just depends on, the commitment level that you got. But sometimes there is a little bit of bad luck involved as well. Tyree in the building. What to do? So I don't think that's a secret. I knew we were screwed from the day we lost to the Vikings. Yeah. I mean, it was tough. But I don't think, let's be honest here. You didn't think it was going to be this bad. You could have thought it was going to be maybe not as good, but the Saints fans still had optimism that you guys could win the division. You're seeing all the problems with Tampa Bay, the offensive line, no Gronk. You guys thought you were going to sweep us again this year. Let's not get it twisted. After the fact, you're like, oh, well, this is what happened. But I mean, let's be honest. Most Saints fans thought that, they would be able to compete with Tampa. And if Tampa has problems, then maybe they'll win the division. So, it just kind of happened that way, that all the teams in the South really fucking suck. And that is big facts. I'm not really too excited, to be very honest. Some Bucks fans I see on the internet are fucking fools, just trying to rub it in. It's like we sweeped them. We still suck. What are you getting excited about? Do we really have a chance to beat anybody? Okay, if we played the Eagles, loss, Vikings, loss, Cowboys, loss. Now, if it goes to the Giants, maybe. Washington, maybe. Seattle, maybe. You know what I mean? Niners, depending on who the quarterback is, if they're still in the hunt, and obviously we know Baker's on the Rams, and they weren't sold on Baker, obviously, for the 49ers. So the Rams picked him up, and that was the only team that put the waiver in. But he's got one of the worst QBRs in NFL history. It's 10. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, if it ends up being one of those middle teams in the playoffs, maybe Tampa could steal one, but I don't really want them to go to the playoffs, let alone win a playoff game. I'm trying to get draft position post Brady. So, it is what it is, but we'll see what happens. This playoff is going to be very, very interesting as we get closer and closer to January. I'm very, very excited. And I'm excited for football to be on Saturday and Sunday that we're going to get here in a couple weeks. Yeah, we already knew that was going to happen. At least I think smart fans that covered the league kind of knew that was rumored. And obviously Titans fans that, sometimes you got to make a change. And, you guys still have a good quality football team. We just got to be able to see moving forward, who's the quarterback? Is it Malik? And you got to get receivers and tight ends and keep building up that offensive line. That's facts. Devontae Adams still having a solid. Yeah. I mean, he's still doing well. You know what I mean? But it's Devontae Adams. You know what I mean? We're talking about the best wide receiver in the league with him and Tyreek for many, many years, right? And then now we got Justin Jefferson and, Jamar Chase and obviously Tyreek and Waddle in Miami have been doing big things. Diggs is playing good with Josh Allen. But I had no doubt that Devontae was going to play well. But you also have to remember, also Darren Waller got hurt. Hunter Renfrow got hurt. So the only guys that are really doing anything are Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. That's it. So obviously when those other two guys went down, Renfrow and Waller, more targets for Devontae. Because who else are you going to throw to? No one else to go to. Jacobs, Devontae, Jacobs, Devontae, Josh Jacobs. I mean, that's all they got. So that's facts. What up, man? How are you? What's good? Yeah, it doesn't look good. And also, are you guys wanting to fire the head coach, Dennis Allen? Because it seems like Dennis Allen's like Todd Bowles. They don't know how to coach. Lots of injuries have happened as well, but I just don't feel confident with Dennis Allen moving forward. And I don't feel comfortable with Todd Bowles being the head coach. I wish we still had Bruce Arians back there. The future looks bleak, right, for both of our teams. But with that being said, the Panthers and the Falcons are much worse than both of our teams. I mean, even though it doesn't look like it really today, but if you look at like actual talent on the roster, I don't know. I think that Saints roster and Tampa's roster, even if Tom Brady leaves, our rosters are built better than the Panthers and the Falcons, at least for a few more years. But, I mean, you got to have the right team and the right people. So that is big facts. And we'll wait for a few people to come through with some questions and whatnot with the Q&A. And anything that you guys want to touch on baseball-wise, NBA-wise, NFL-wise, fantasy football-wise, please do. And I'm just going to chill. We got Mavericks 28. We got the Nuggets 26. Luka backing down. And like I said, I like watching Luka. Luka's one of those guys that I don't really like the NBA that much, but if like Steph Curry is on, Luka's on, I mean, I'll take a couple hours out of my time to see what Luka can do and if he puts up 30, 40, or 50. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. We obviously saw those pictures there when they were at the game, the Hawks game. I would assume Naomi will just stay, there obviously in WWE, but it would be nice to have Sasha Banks and Naomi come over. We just need more talent in AEW, but I don't know. With Jade Cargill, she's too robotic to me. You know what I mean? She's always screaming into the mic. She's kind of like Ronda Rousey. Like they don't know how to talk on the mic. You know what I mean? Like you got the physique down, but like in the ring, it's very like robotic. You got the muscles and everything. You got the look. You know what I mean? But again, if you don't got good mic skills, you're trash to me. You got to have good mic skills. I don't give a shit. The wrestlers are everywhere. There's a lot of fucking people that are great at wrestling, but how many are great on the mic and great in the ring? And that's really separates the people that are average, good, and elite. You have to be able to cut a promo. And speaking of cutting a promo, Sami Zayn, if you want to talk about someone that's great on the microphone and who's been great on the microphone for a long time, but finally is getting a chance to talk for the Bloodline and the Usos and being Usi, not only is he funny, he's got great tonality. He works the crowd. The crowd loves him. He's finally getting his due like The Miz or Jericho or MJF or Stone Cold or The Rock. And it's awesome because, he's one of those guys. He's a little guy. He's not really going to get a lot of belt opportunities, right? But to be able to put him in that faction and they were kind of rolling the dice. They're like, all right, how is this going to work? Because he's so goofy and different from the rest of the Bloodline, right? But if you've noticed, like the chemistry that he has with them and just him being confident, in his, mic skills and just verbally abusing everybody in the roster, it's pretty sweet to see. And that's the type of shit that I look for, is being able to see people that are dominant on the microphone. Because as we know, on TV, YouTube, Twitch, there's some that are fantastic and there's some that think they're fantastic. And that's big facts. All right, no problem. Good to see you. Hope you feel better. Ooh, is it cloudy? What's the weather temperature? How often do you get rain where you live in Hawaii? Do you get rain a lot or no? Saints gave the first round. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. A lot of these draft boards are going to keep going higher and higher and higher. I actually looked at one of the draft boards. Let me see if I have it. I know I had it temporarily. Let me see if did I keep it on my Twitter? I don't know if I liked it or if I just saved it. Let me see. I know I was going to send the graphic to Sarah, and Sarah probably already has the graphic. I must have just scrolled through it. But they had an updated top 10 showing where all the pieces are going to go. So, yeah, congratulations on stealing my dad's Trey Turner. He had a higher offer to go to San Diego, but he's got family. He's from Philly, and he's got family from Philly in that area. So I already kind of knew that that's where they were going to lean. And even with Bryce Harper with the Tommy John, by the time the season starts, we'll see where he's at, rehab-wise. They said summer, but it could be much longer than that, just to make sure there's no any slip-ups in the rehab. But, yeah, definitely Phillies are looking like a very fun team to cover, not only in 2023, but moving forward. And I'll definitely be putting, a few games in, with not only the Mariners and the Dodgers, but if the Phillies are on and Trey's, playing, definitely I'll be doing some. I saw that. Yeah, I know Jameson would love that. Jameson would love that. All right, Tyler, what to do? Mahomes or Hurts? You have both? Let me take a quick look to see the projecting, because that's really what it comes down to. You got to look at projections, okay? And then you got to look at what they've done in the last month. You got to look at touchdowns. You got to look at home and away. You got to look at grass and turf. Now, I look at that shit. That's why I'm fucking 12-1. Other people, they'll just look at a name and choose one. So Let me give you some actual good advice, not like some of these idiots on Twitter taking stardom and sit-em questions, which is fucking comical. All right, let's take a quick peek here. All right, Mahomes is ranked number 2. And is it PPR or standard? That's another question that I need. Oh, yeah. Well, he's from there. He's from San Francisco, so. Yeah, but the thing is Yankee fans shouldn't have fucking booed him when everyone was struggling. You know, if he ends up signing with the Giants, I guarantee 100% that's part of it. You know what I mean? It's like you broke the record, Roger Maris, you got 62. The whole team is slumping. The last thing that he needs to hear, and that's why New York fans are that way. Sometimes they like to talk too much. Sometimes they show a little bit too much emotion. But, maybe he'll come back to New York. But if he doesn't, you have to just cue it back to the playoffs when the Yankee fans at home are booing him. Why would you want to go back to a team that boos you after you got 62? I wouldn't want to come back. I get the pinstripes is a very prestigious thing, all right? But guess what? The Yankees need me, Aaron Judge, more than I need them. And that is big facts, okay? The Yankees need him. He don't need them. He can go wherever and make a team a contender. So that is big facts. So I was hoping that the Yankee fans weren't going to do that, but it didn't surprise me when they did. So maybe he'll come back to you guys. But in the future, whenever you have a future Hall of Famer like that, maybe don't boo, when he's having a hard time in the box. Especially when the whole team is doing horrible. That is one key thing there. Okay. All right, let me take a quick look here for you. Mahomes is going against the Broncos, okay? Bronco defense is going to be better than the Giants, and it's PPR. Okay, Hurts is 19.2, 24.1. All right, let me take a quick pick here. Do you do Yahoo or ESPN? I mean, you're not going to really lose a lot of points between either one. What's your record? Like, are you in the playoffs or no? All right, Mahomes is averaging 25.1. That's what you need to look at, not the projected, okay? You got to look at what he's been doing, and then you got to look at the last, 4 or 5 games. So you got 34, 31, 27, and then the last 2, 18 and 19, okay? And he's had 1 touchdown, 4 touchdown, 3 touchdown, 1 touchdown, 1 touchdown. And then let's look at rushing stats. And he's had 2 rushing touchdowns in the last 5 weeks, 1 against Tennessee and 1 last week. But he only had 18 and 19 in the last 2, 320 yards and 223. So obviously we know ESPN. Okay, so you're doing the same thing as me. Okay, so obviously the last couple games haven't been as good for Mahomes, but as we know, he can light it up, for 3 or 4. And he was much hotter at the beginning of the season, but then last 5 games, 1, 4, 3, 1, 1. But technically it was 2 because 1 was a rushing touchdown. 2, 4, 3, 1, and 2. All right, and let me look at Hurts. I mean, you're not going to be losing too many points with either one. There is no really wrong answer here. These are 2 of the best that are in the NFL right now. They're literally ranked 1 and 2. All right. And Hurts is averaging 25.4. So there is no really wrong answer here. Okay. And then if you look at Hurts, 28, 20, 21, 24, 29, and 3. 4, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then you look at rushing, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1. So, if it's me, and I'm going with this particular matchup, and one's at the Giants, and then we go to Mahomes. At the Giants and then at Denver. So they're both on the road. So even though, Mahomes, obviously it's Patrick Mahomes, we know this, I probably would feel more comfortable with going Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the MVP of the NFL this year. They're going to go to the Super Bowl more than likely. They have a great chance to win. They give you the most chances to win. Now, is it possible you start Hurts and he gives you 19 and then Mahomes gives you 29? Well, if you have a good team, right, you should still be able to win no matter what. But between the 2, but they're both averaging about 25 a game. So yeah, you might lose a couple points either way, but I think if it's me, I'm probably going Jalen Hurts just because he's been a little bit more consistent week in and week out in the last 4 to 5 games. Not to say that Mahomes can't turn it on, right? But I'm thinking if I'm going to go with a team, I'm probably going to go with Jalen Hurts. That's where I would go. And I don't think you're going to be losing that many points. Like, again, if Mahomes gets 29 and you get 25 with Hurts and you lose, well, that's because the rest of your team sucks. You got to have good running backs, wide receivers. So, you shouldn't lose with a difference of maybe 5 to 6 points. I mean, yeah, it's possible one of them goes for like a 30 or a 40, but if it was me, I probably would be going Jalen Hurts. First round, yeah. And like I said, the Bronco defense is going to be a little bit tougher, even though they stink. They suck over there. You know what I mean? So I think I feel a little bit more comfortable with Hurts, going against the Giants. They're not going to win that game, you wouldn't think, even though it could be considered a trap game because it's in the division. But I think Jalen Hurts has been a little bit more consistent week in and week out. And again, Hurts is ranked number 1. Mahomes is ranked number 2, and they're both averaging about 25. So that's where I would go. I think I would go to Hurts, knowing that, yeah, it could go either way, but the safe pick is Hurts. If you want to take a gamble, you go Mahomes. But I think Hurts is the smart choice. What's your record? What's up, Jacob? What to do? It's Anita Flex and PPR this week. Zay Jones, Tyler Boyd, Nico Collins. Some other options on waiver as well if you have any other ideas. What's your record? And what can you type out your team for me so I can see what your team looks like? So that way, like if you have like an option to go 3 running backs, or obviously you're in need and it looks like you're looking for a wide receiver. But if you can kind of let me know what your full roster looks like, I can give you an idea of where possibly I would go. I'm 12-1, so I made 100 moves, since obviously the, over 100 since it started. My team is, and this is just for this week, I got Geno Smith, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Andrews, Josh Jacobs at flex, Cowboys D, Jason Myers at kicker. And then the kicker for me, which makes my team the best, is my bench. My bench, Justin Herbert, Chris Godwin, Bills D, Justin Fields, Latavius Murray, Gerald Everett, Odell Beckham Jr. So, it all depends on what type of work you're willing to put in. And if you can go 3 running backs, that's always, preferred than going for a wide receiver at flex. You get a wide receiver at flex, you can get fucked a lot of times if the, flow of the game doesn't go in your favor. And also the target share isn't in your favor as well. So, but if you give me an idea of what your team looks like, I can go from there. Because you ask people on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, they just say a name really quickly. That's not good advice for someone to be like coming to a question and they give you 3 names. And if they give you an answer immediately, they're a fucking moron. They don't know anything. You got to look at home and away. You got to look at how many targets they've had in the last 4 games. You got to look on how many catches they've had, how many points they've had. Is it home? Is it away? The great fantasy football players on planet Earth look at all these little details. Even sometimes crazy shit like turf and grass. Sometimes that can make a difference in fantasy. I know that's really extreme, but the ones that are extreme end up getting titles like your boy. All right, so we got that. So Zay Jones, Tyler Boyd, Nico. I don't really like any of those options. Zay might be the best one, but I have to look a little bit deeper. And then Tyler's got Fournette, CMC, Lockett, DK, Eagles defense, 10-3. No, you got a pretty good record. Okay. All right, so what do you got here? You got Josh Allen, Eckler, Swift, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Dulcich, Zay Jones, Eagles D. What about your bench? Can you give me your bench? Let me see what your bench looks like. And let me look at players here. Because I already know Zay has had a good connection with Trevor Lawrence this year. So I know that. I'm not stupid. I was almost considering about picking him up. All right, let me take a quick peek. And are you doing PPR, standard? What are you doing? Oh, yeah. And then obviously Christian Watson would be the one you could have in flex or whatever, but he's got a bye, I would assume. Boyd, Drake, Cordarrelle Patterson, Cole Kmet. Yeah, a full PPR. Ooh. And you were probably like, shit, I need I need Christian Watson. He's been carrying you. And you've used him at wide receiver 2 or for flex. You got Amon-Ra and Waddle. So I assume Christian Watson has been your flex, and you've been riding him heavy for all those touchdowns. Yeah, so right now as I'm looking with the names and going through it, Zay Jones has got, let's see, he's projected for 12, right? He was quiet. Best game of the year in week 12, quiet in week 13. Only had 2 receptions for 16 yards, but he is in a good opportunity. He's going to be going against the worst defense against wideouts this year, ranked 32 out of 32. So there should be an opportunity to get 10 points. So if you can get 10 or more, that's what we look at, obviously, at the flex, right? At wide receiver 2. You're trying to get a minimum of 10, right? 9 is, you're not kind of pissed when you get under 10 points. At least most people are in fantasy, right? You get an 8 or a 9 when a guy's projected for like 10, 11, 12, 13. You're pissed. You're like, fuck, right? But if the guy can get you 15, 18, or maybe 22, that could, be a huge, huge thing. So they're going against the worst defense that covers wide receivers. Opponent rank 32. So that's pretty much a no-brainer. So unless you got guys on the wire that might be better than that, like running backs, wide receivers, you can always come back tomorrow and let me know what's available, depending on who you got on the wire and who you didn't. But if you already have Zay Jones on your bench, that's probably where I would go. Yeah, I know he didn't have a very good game, but when you're going against, the worst, cover corners in fantasy this season, 32 rank out of 32, green matchup. Yeah, he could still fuck up and do bad, but at least it gives you the best shot to probably get to 10 compared to those other guys. But let me look a little bit further to look at Boyd, because Boyd, obviously, that's very hit or miss, and same thing with Nico Collins. So last 4 games, 9, 14, 27.5, and 3. So I wouldn't be expecting a lot. If you start Zay Jones, it's probably going to be 9 to 14 points. So as long as that's okay with you, and it has upside for, 15 or more, you know what I mean? It does, right? But I don't know if you're going to get like a 24.5-point game against the Chargers or that 28-point game he had against Baltimore. I'm not sure if you're going to get that, but again, it is a green matchup. And so I probably would go that route. So let me see here. And obviously, we already know you would be doing Christian Watson, 100%. I can just look at your roster there. Best running back options? No, you don't want to do that. Best wide receiver options? No, fuck those. No, none of those either. You're 9-4 in the second spot. Nice. Good job, dude. And like I said, it's hard to be great at fantasy, and it all depends on research. And I shit you not, I do about 2 hours a day, every day. I've never finished lower than 3rd in my life in any league. 150 money league, 200 money league to buy in, free league, friends league. Like I said, I'm normally not 12-1 every year, at this point. But again, I put in the most work and I've gotten the best results, and a good chunk of my team I drafted too. So, and Jacob, you have to have a good draft. If you have a 12-man league and you didn't have a top 6 draft, you're not 9-4. So you obviously did something right. You're going to have to make moves, right? You got the Allen, the Eckler, the Amon-Ra, the Waddle. So obviously, as I see, you made some pretty good decisions. You probably picked up Christian Watson on the wire and some of these other guys. But yeah, from what I'm seeing so far, let me look at the others real quick to see the potential, if there's anything else there that I can give you. So one sec. Let me look at Tyler Boyd. I don't think I would go that route. Now, if it was like T. Higgins, then that's something else. But let me look at Tyler for you.
Now is the time for healing and recovery.
All right, let's look at Tyler.
Can't do it alone.
All right, Tyler Boyd is projected for 9.7. He's averaging 11.5 points, which isn't bad. His last 4 are 9, 6, 3, and 10. So I would stay away from that. And they're going to be going against Cleveland. So, yeah, I don't think I would go that route. That's too much of a risk to even get to fucking 10 points. I think you know that as well. And let's go Nico Collins. All right, let's look at Nico. All right, Nico Collins is averaging 9.7, kind of similar to Tyler Boyd. Projection is 10.5, and he's better. Nico actually is better than Boyd. If I'm looking at the stats here, his last 4 are 15.9, 9.8, 10.4, and 12.5. So that actually is pretty good in targets, 10, 7, 9, and 10. So let me go back, because that might actually be even, I know the other matchup might be better, but you're going to want to go between Zay and Nico. Let me go back to Zay real quick to look at targets. All right, let me go back here. This is the type of shit that I do on a regular when I'm even doing my own team, and I even scout my opponents, like who they're playing and what they're averaging. I mean, I go really hardcore into this. So the one thing you got going for you with Zay is they're going against the opponent ranked 32, which is the best. Okay, but let's take a quick peek at the targets. All right, targets are 5, 10, 14, and 7. 9, 14, 27 and a half, and 3. So, I mean, that it's going to be kind of your call, but it's definitely not going to be Tyler Boyd. If you want to go for the guy that's getting the most targets, right, that's going to give you probably a guaranteed 10 points, Nico Collins. If you're going to go for the guy that might have that bigger game, that you're willing to take a risk, right, and you feel good about the rest of the roster, then you go Zay Jones. Because Zay Jones might end up hitting you with a 15 to a 28-point game, especially if they're going against the worst defense. But also, he could end up hitting you with like a 5. You know what I mean? Like some of his games have been a little inconsistent, but this is a good sign that he's going against, he's going against the 32 out of 32. But like I'm just going back and looking at his numbers, his last 5, 6.5, 9, 14.8, 27.5, 3.6. And I don't like seeing that 3.6. So even though Zay Jones could blow up, this will be a personal call for you. I'm thinking the safe choice is Nico Collins. And then if you want to take a chance, take a risk, then you go Zay Jones. But the guy that's most likely to get you 10 points is going to be Nico, because his last 4, 15, 10, 9.8 was 10, 10.4, and 12.5. And he's been getting a higher target share, 10, 7, 9, and 10. So 3 out of the 4 games, Nico Collins has gotten 10 targets. So, it's just a matter of, can they punch it into the end zone? And even if they don't, you're still getting around that 10-point mark. So, and I imagine that you've probably looked at this information as well. But I always try to give you my safe, and then if you want to take a risk, depending on who you're going against. Like if you think you're already going to win, then you can take a risk with Zay, since they're going against the worst defense for corners, against him, boom. But if you want like maybe a little bit more like a for sure thing, if it's going to be a very close matchup, then you may want to lean towards Nico Collins. So, and like I said, it's all about, production, not name recognition. Because obviously we know Zay Jones and Tyler Boyd are way more popular than a fucking Nico Collins. But sometimes those Nico Collins guys can help you win in the week. So, and I think you know that as well. Nice job. So that's where I would go. Yeah, I wouldn't have Pacheco on my team at all. And I wouldn't have Fournette on my team either. Yeah, you're good. You don't even need my help, bro. You're good. But like sometimes, you can just like look on the names and then do a little comparison there. I just try to give the best advice as if I was going to give it myself. So, yeah, you're good, bro. I mean, it just depends on who else you have, Toby. Well, I don't think Mike ended up coming in, but I would like to put up some photos for him in the meantime. So we're at 20. We got 80 to go, and hopefully we can get a few more people coming through. And I know we'll get, randoms coming through for different questions and whatnot, but let me throw up a couple photos for him, even if he doesn't come through. I think maybe he couldn't show up today. He just wanted to show some support. So all right, let me show him a couple NASCAR photos, even though he may or may not show up, but I still want to be able to show that love. I mean, especially if you're going to drop a 20 and you're not even going to come to the stream, that shows a lot of love and support. So appreciate you, man. Let me get a couple photos here, give him a couple Alabamas. I just want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence here. Thank you, Mike. Dallas 50, Denver 45. Let's get one more Saban up. Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you for the 20. And I don't know how many people on planet Earth right now that are 12-1, but I guarantee it's not many, especially this year. This year has been really crazy in fantasy. A lot of injuries, just good teams are bad teams are good. I doubt there's very many people that are playing in a competitive league that are 13-0 or 12-1. And this is one of the best years I've ever had, to be honest. But I definitely had a very, very good draft, and I put a lot of work into it too. Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you, my dude. No problem, man. I got you. If you ever need any help, I'm here. Olave and a Watson are on a bye. Who else do you have on your team? I mean, if you got nobody else, then you have to use those people. If that's what you have left, and those are the only options you have. I mean, unless you got other guys on the bench or guys on the wire. Both of those guys are, probably going to get about 10 points. At least that's what you're hoping for. But I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough for you to win with Peoples, Jones, and Boyd, and I don't know what your record is. Last time I talked to you, I thought your record wasn't the greatest, right? You were below 500. So, what's up, Cedric? What's good? Said, choose two between Walker if he plays, Etienne, Hopkins, and Keenan Allen. I got to know your whole team. So with me, like I said, for me to be able to give good advice and be 12-1, I got to be able to know what your full roster looks like, so I know what you're working with. If I can give you 3 running backs, so you can have that running back at the flex. Josh Jacobs has been my flex all year, and there's a reason why I'm 12-1. But also, I drafted him, and I have Saquon, and I have Nick Chubb on top of Justin Jefferson that I drafted number 2 overall, which surprised everybody in the league. So if you give me the whole team, that'll give me a better visual on what I'm working with. And like I said, I don't know if Walker is going to be healthy. And like I said, anytime a guy is coming off an injury, you sometimes have to be a little cautious. But with that being said, a lot of people benched Justin Fields last week, including myself, and he still ended up having a pretty good game. And I got Fields, Geno, and Justin Herbert. After Herbert went down with the injury, I had to find other options. So I have Hopkins starting in my league. So I would have to take a quick look on projections, and we have to take a quick peek here. So let me type out your whole team for me, and I'll let you know. And then I'll get you to you, Cletus, here in 1 second. So 1 sec here. All right, let me take a quick peek. All right, Kenneth Walker is questionable. He's averaging 13.6 points per game, but then he has an injury. So his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last 7 games, 14, 19, 28, 12, 28, 13, 16, and then he got injured and put up a 3, right? But they're going against Carolina, who fucking stinks. So if he can go and he's healthy, you definitely but like I said, we don't know how healthy he's going to be because it's an ankle. Right ankle strain. So I can't give you an answer with Walker today because I don't know how healthy he's going to be. You know what I mean? Now, if he's 100% and there's no injury designation, then you're definitely going to probably want to start Walker if he can go, because that'll get you 10 points or more. But and then if he's injured, then you're probably going to be going. Let me look at the other ones here. Then I'm probably going ETN and Hopkins if Walker can't go. Let me take a look.
So take your time. You can buy online, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee when you rock with your first overall.
All right, ETN has been averaging 12.2, 19th ranked. ETN has started to slow down a little bit, though. 14, 12, 18, 25, 26, 10. After the bye, 0.3 and 7.6. So that is a little scary. So ETN, you probably would want to stay away from. Yeah, he could blow up, but in the last couple of weeks, he hasn't done a whole lot. And so if the playoffs are on the line, you got to be cautious. Obviously, a running back is better than a wide receiver most times, but like I got DeAndre Hopkins, and it don't matter who the fuck the quarterback is. I already know he's putting up points, and I got him on my team. And usually I'll start him even over Chris Godwin, which will get me 10 to 14 usually. Hopkins is averaging 20.7. That's like, if he started from the beginning of the year, he would be like the number 5 wide receiver right now, like number 4, number 5 rank. So D-Hop, 20, 33, 13, 19, 18, 18. So D-Hop, 100%, you're starting him. So ETN, probably not. And then let me look at Keenan Allen, because it's all about like, what have you done for me lately? And if a guy's been kind of shitty, yeah, he could bounce back, but we don't know. And then Keenan Allen's been averaging 12.6, and Keenan Allen 12, 15, and 20. So if it's me, right, I'm probably going. And Mike Williams might be out as well. So the ones that are like guaranteed to put up good points are going to be Hopkins and Keenan Allen. So those are going to be the two that you're going to start, right? One at wide receiver 2, Hopkins, and maybe Keenan Allen at flex. Now, if Walker is healthy, right, and you want to take a chance that he can go, then you'll probably throw Walker at the flex instead of Keenan Allen. But for now, Hopkins and Allen would be your two best choices based off what they've been doing in the last month. And they've been getting over 10 points every week. ETN has shit the bed the last 2 weeks. Walker is injured. So if you need points and you need guaranteed points, even though we know Hopkins and Keenan Allen could have a horrible game or something could happen, but I think the ones that I'm looking at, and normally I go running back over wide receiver, 9 times out of 10. But in this case, ETN hasn't played good in 2 weeks. Walker is injured. So for today, Hopkins and Keenan Allen. But if it ends up being Walker is healthy, then I'm probably going Walker and Hopkins, or, you have to make a decision. Hopkins, 100% in, and then you have to decide Walker, Keenan Allen, and then you have to make a decision on your own, depending on where you're going to put that guy, RB2, flex, and that's why I need to look at your whole team. So Garrett Wilson, Ayuk, or DJ Moore. Garrett Wilson. I mean, just off the top, that guy's been killing it, but let me take a quick look at everything first before I give you a definitive. It doesn't even matter if Mike White is there. He's got good rapport with him. Last 2 games, 26 and 24. And obviously prior to that, 17, 17, 3. And that was obviously with like Zach Wilson. And then 26 and 24. So he's getting a lot of targets. Last 2 games, 8 and 15, 26 and 24. It's always an opportunity for Garrett Wilson to have a bad game, but as long as Mike is there, Mike White, I think Garrett Wilson, it would be good, and then you need to pick 2 out of that. So Wilson is one of them, and then I'm not sure if I would go with Ayuk because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be, and I don't know if I would go DJ Moore either because I don't know if he's going to get enough looks. Is there anyone else that you have on your team besides those? Because the Ayuk and the DJ Moore isn't very good. Let me look. All right, DJ Moore's averaging 11. I mean, he did have 20 last game, but the previous 3, 4, 6, 5, and then 20. Too unreliable. You know what I mean? It's like DJ Moore could have 4 or he could have 20. If you want to take that risk, not me. I mean, I'm not fucking doing that. And then let's look at Ayuk. But now it's not Garoppolo, so it's completely different. So it's going to be like Josh Johnson or, Brock Purdy. That's not good either. Now, Ayuk is averaging 13.4. And his last 4, I mean, he's had 28, 15, 20, 12, 16, 11, and 9.6. So the correct answer is Garrett Wilson and Ayuk, right? But I don't really know what we're going to get out of the new quarterback. You know what I mean? But even with that being said, it's probably better to go with Ayuk than necessarily DJ Moore. I don't know if I trust DJ Moore. So, if there's anyone else besides Ayuk and DJ Moore that you can go to, I just don't trust the quarterbacks on the Panthers. And I don't trust who the quarterback's going to be for the Niners. Ayuk could have a good game, or he could have 0. But Garrett Wilson for sure. That's what I would go with. 8-5 in first. Interesting. Yeah, so that's what I said too. If I watch almost every team play. You know what I mean? And again, I make over 100 transactions. Throughout every year I play. I'm 12-1. How many people are 12-1? Most people don't even know anyone that's 12-1 in a fantasy league. And you might have somebody that's in first place that might be 11-2. Maybe 10-3. Not a lot of 12-1s out there. At least not that I've seen on the internet. So. Yeah, but you got to look at the numbers, though. You can't just look at name recognition. That's the difference between people like me and people like you. You love the route running, and you do it based off name recognition. Me, I do it based off stats, analytics, research. So it's different. You can't go off name recognition in fantasy. Otherwise, you're going to give horrible information, and people are going to lose. but those two guys are very, very good. We know that, but it all depends on targets and a lot of other factors as well. All right, let's look at Cedric here. CMC and Saquon. Well, you got your like stack team here. Tyreek and AJ Brown. Flex Walker for now. Oh, fuck. Well, you got that deep of. I thought Walker might have been your RB1 or RB2. Shit. If that's what you got on your team, then put Hopkins at the flex. Fucking throw Walker. He's injured. He might do good. He might not do well. Why would you risk putting Walker there? And he gets like 5 or he re-aggravates the injury. The easy answer for this right here would be DeAndre Hopkins. Put him at the flex. He's my wide receiver too. He's averaging 20 points a game, and it doesn't even matter if it's Colt McCoy or Kyler. He's going to get points. So that's an easy question now to see what you have. And who are you playing with? Are you even playing with real people? How the hell do you have CMC, Saquon, Tyreek, AJ Brown, Walker, Keenan Allen, Hopkins, and ETN? Are you playing with a bunch of little kids? Are you playing with people that don't know how to play fantasy? Because you must be. Because there's no way in hell you can construct a team like that unless you're playing with a bunch of dummies. No offense. But there's no way that you stack a team like that. I don't know how many teams are in your league. If this is like an 8-man league or something, but this is the team is good, but interested to see who you're actually playing against. People that have brains or people that are fucking stupid. Oh, that's a good question. Well, you can't really trust Higbee unless you think Baker Mayfield is going to get him the football. Anytime you got a new quarterback and it's not Matthew Stafford, that's tough. Let me take a quick peek here. Hold on. People are sending me shit right now. One sec. Yeah. All right. Let me take a quick look at this one now. Yeah, but anytime you got a new quarterback coming in, like if you got 49er players or Rams players, it's going to be aggravating because we're getting close to the playoffs and you don't want to fuck up. But all right, Foster has gotten 13, 4, 12, and 4. So very touchdown dependent, unreliable. And you don't even know, Josh Jacobs and Devontae are going to score. I don't like either one of those, honestly, but let's take a look at what Higbee is. Because Higbee, there's not a whole lot of options for, to be able to go to many options other than what they got. And then Higbee, 15, 8, 0, and 3. So I don't really like either one of those guys. Is there anyone else that you have or anyone else that you can get besides those two? I wouldn't start either one of those if it was me. If there's someone else on the wire that might be better. Traded Josh Allen for Prescott and Kelsey. I don't know. It just depends on how deep your team is. I'm not sure if I would have done that. I mean, Josh Allen is going to be one of the top quarterbacks, but he's throwing a lot of interceptions. But you probably didn't realize that. You picked him up for his name, but the Prescott Kelsey got the better deal. I mean, you got the number 1 tight end in the league, and then you got Dak, who's been pretty good this year. Who? John Wilkes Booth coming from the grave. Mike Hawksmall? Yeah, you're not going to want to go if you're trying to win and get points. I mean, you already got CMC and Saquon, you know what I mean? And normally you would want to go with a running back, at your flex. And normally that's what you do. I know you normally are going with Walker or maybe ETN, right? But Hopkins is averaging 20 points, and sometimes that's going to even be more than ETN or Kenneth Walker. So that's where I would go. I mean, if you're comfortably set with Tyreek and AJ Brown, and you don't want to move those at all, or CMC or Saquon, the easy choice for me would be Hopkins, and then Keenan Allen, and then Walker, and then ETN. Just because of the injury status of Walker, and then ETN hasn't done good the last 2 games. But who's been doing really good the last month, right? DeAndre Hopkins, and Keenan Allen's been very hot as of late, especially with Mike Williams out. So that's where I would go. if you're looking for, guaranteed points, as long as an injury doesn't happen to D-Hop or Keenan Allen.
Give the gift of shine at Zales, the diamond store.
So now I have Prescott, Chubb. Oh, so you traded Josh Allen. Okay. Okay, I thought you got Josh Allen. Okay, that makes sense. So you got Prescott, Chubb, CMC, Allen, and then you got Cooper, Amari Cooper. I assume Travis Kelce at tight end, Andrews, Bills defense, Tyler Bass. I mean, it's okay. I would need to know the rest of your team. I mean, normally I wouldn't necessarily, you don't need the number 1 and the number 2 tight end, but Kelce obviously is the best. And if Andrews I have Andrews. Lamar's going to be hurt, but hopefully he can still put up points. But anybody below Travis Kelce, I mean, there's not a whole lot of points that are being had in the tight end position this year. That's big facts. What's up now, JT? Now we got 1 week left. So I'm 12-1. Dirty Bird Shepherd is 7-6. Fluffers is 7-6. One of those 2 teams is going to make the playoffs in the last spot and go against me in the first round. Holly's 5-8. Hershey Highway's 1-12. He quit after like week 2, which is unfortunate. Sarah's in second place. She's 10-3. Jake Team Guerrero is 8-5. He's third place. And then Brute Crushes, Chief Will Chief, and Buck Dynasty are all 5-8. So it's going to be me at 12-1, Sarah at 10-3, Jake at 8-5, and then either Dirty Bird Shep 8-6, or it's going to be Fluffers at 8-6. But they have to find a way to see if they're going to win. And let me look to see who they're matching up against, so we can kind of just see if maybe we can figure it out. But all right, let's take a look. So Dirty Birds is going to be going against Holly. And right now, at the moment, he's projected to lose. And then with Fluffers is going against Jake, who's the third best team. And you're projected to lose as well. So based on looking at the teams, unless Fluffers has a miracle, Eagles John, it's probably going to be Shepherd, based on what I'm looking at, because Eagles John has Jimmy G at quarterback. And I'm not sure if that team has got enough depth to be able to beat, the opponent this week. And if you're going against Jake, Jake's got the third best team. I don't think you're going to beat him. So looks like Shep might end up being that last team. But again, that's why we do fantasy. You never know. So exactly. I knew it. I ain't no fucking moron. 6 team. There's no way in hell that you could have a team this fucking good with a 10-man league. There's just no way in hell. My team is very good, and I'm in a 10-man league. But again, I knew it. I mean, I've been playing fantasy football way too long. I knew that shit, man. You can't slide that shit by me. I knew it was a 6 or an 8-man team league. I knew it. Murray, Patterson, Foreman, Samuel, Scary Terry. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of those options are, a lot of them are hit or miss. Some of them are going to be good, some of them are not. But yeah, probably getting that trade, and that way you get a 2-for-1. I would have probably done that trade as well. Josh Allen's great, but he's been throwing picks. But if you can get someone that's going to give you close to Josh Allen numbers and give you the number 1 tight end, that could help you. I don't know what your record is, but hopefully that'll help you out. So see, even Tyree knows, this mofo coming in here with this team. $20. Let's get to $100. Njoku. Yeah, Njoku is yeah, but he's questionable. Let's take a look.
Have you ever seen a player?
All right, hold on. I'm getting all these messages. One sec. Let me take a look at Njoku real quick.
Play basketball when he's on the floor. Like when he's not, like they turn it on differently when he's not on the floor. When he's on the court, they're like, well, we got to get him the ball. And well, I think that's why the triangle offense was created. When Michael Jordan was playing, guys used to watch, and they're like, we can't have this. Guys just watching him, and sometimes in awe, they created the triangle offense with Tex Winners, and the rest is history.
Okay, let's go. Njoku. Let me take a quick look.
Like 3 times in a row history. Anyway, John Wood, true definition of a great player is one that makes players around him better. Roll the take, two-time MVP. He can actually do it all. Right here, it's a post-up. Way too post-up.
All right, Njoku is ranked 13th, and he's questionable, but you have a better chance of getting to 10 points with even a halfway Njoku than those other two. I don't think I trust Higbee with a Baker Mayfield. Yeah, it could work out, but it could be a disaster as well. I don't trust anybody on that Rams team whatsoever. And then Foster Moreau is very touchdown dependent. So he could give you 10 if he scores, 3 if he doesn't. So if you're willing to take that risk, but I'm thinking, I mean, PPR, he's projected for 10, Njoku. So as long as Njoku goes, I would start him. So he's expected to practice this week and play Sunday against the Bengals. So he had a knee injury. So monitor that, but I would just keep Njoku in the lineup because that would be better than the other two by far. If there's someone else that you can get on the wire and drop one of those other guys, unless those guys were on the wire. I don't know if those guys that you mentioned earlier, the Higbee and the Moreau, are on your team or they're on the wire to pick up. But I would definitely go with Njoku and just cross your fingers. And if there's anyone else, you can let me know. What up, Eagles John? I saw that you sent me a message. Yeah. Unless you just like send me the picture, on Twitter or something, you can always do that. Playing golf with Ken Griffey Jr. and David Ortiz. Wow, that would be amazing. Yeah, but just the fact that you're going against me, Sarah, or Jake at the very end, that's not, Jake's team is pretty solid. I mean, he's made the second most moves in the league. I've made 100 plus. He's made like 50. And he's in third. And then Sarah hasn't made a lot of moves, but she had one of the top 2 drafts with myself. And she's been able to rely heavy on her heavy hitters. And she's also been lucky, like myself, where we haven't had a lot of season-ending injuries. We've had injuries that have bothered us, like with me and Justin Herbert and Mark Andrews, but I've been able to find replacements to kind of, just stay afloat until those guys come back. And I ended up getting Geno Smith and Justin Fields. And then I have Gerald Everett right now as the backup. So if anything happens to Mark Andrews, I feel pretty comfortable. So unfortunately, I would really love for you to get in, but I think Shepard is going to get in, but he might lose as well. But then if it comes down to points, then if you guys both lose, then it'll probably go to Shepard. And like I said, I always try to score the most points in the league every year and give up the least. I'm at 1,850 points, and second place in the league is at Sarah at 17, but then it's as low as 1,200, but obviously for that individual, they quit. So for people that are still playing, the lowest I think is 1,300, and I'm at 1,850. So 1,850, and then I've only given up 1,427. I've given up the second least. So when people go up against me, even if I have a bad week, sometimes I can find a way to just get enough. I'm not going to score the most points every week, and sometimes and like I said, the only one week that I lost was out of my control. That was the week that I had, most of my guys had the bye. I had Nick Chubb on a bye, right? I had Saquon Barkley on a bye. I had Dallas defense, number 1 defense on a bye, and Mark Andrews was hurt. That's like 100 points for me. So 4 out of my 9 were injured, and I tried to have some of my backups, in there, but I had to grab a couple from the wire because usually I go 3 running backs, Chubb, Saquon, and Jacobs, instead of just Jacobs, another person, and then I have to find a flex that's a wide receiver, which I don't like doing. And I only ended up losing to Holly by like 12 to 14 points with, half of my lineup not even playing. So if I didn't have that, there is a good chance that maybe I would have been able to go possibly undefeated, but I don't care about really going undefeated. I just want to win the championship. So I'm just trying to get the chip and win it all. So. Oh, and you had Waller. Oof. Yeah. Like I said, if you do fantasy, you always want to get Andrews or Kelsey. If you get anybody else, chances are you're not winning your fantasy league. Most people that are winning their fantasy league have either Andrews or Kelsey. And also you have to draft really well too. I mean, that's a big part about it. He said Cedric probably picked 4. he's a manager for all 6. Yeah, I don't know. I was just going to say my team is stacked. When you look at my team on paper, like, holy shit, you know what I mean? But it took a lot of time and effort and dedication with everything that I've been putting in as well. And just to give you like a little like insight on why my team is so good as well. Tyree, $10 holla. Tyree, thank you so much. You're the man. Bang, 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 bang. And I know a lot of people think that they're really great at fantasy, but I just let my stats speak for themselves, and I try to help people out. But if you look at like the ranks overall, and you're okay, how is this team so fucking good? All right, Geno Smith, 6. Nick Chubb. Actually, no, here I'm gonna go there. Let me show the full rankings here. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. And this is a big deal because you got to make sure you have guys that are in the top 10. Okay. If you got guys in the top 10 and your whole lineup is there, chances are your team is very, very good. I've made 101 moves since we started the league, by far the most. Let's see here. All right. So for scoring, Geno Smith, 7, 7th rated quarterback. Nick Chubb, number 6. Saquon Barkley, number 5. Justin Jefferson, number 4. D-Hop, 37, but he missed the first 6 games. He's averaging 21.96. If that was the case today, right? He's averaging 20.73. He would be the number 5 wide receiver if he had those numbers at that point. Okay. Mark Andrews, number 2. Josh Jacobs, number 2. Cowboys D, number 1. Jason Myers, number 2 kicker. So I have a 7, a 6, a 5, a 4, a 5, a 2, a 2, a 1, and a 2. That's in my starting lineup. Then on my bench, Herbert, 8, Godwin, 25, Bills D, 6, Justin Fields, 5, Latavius Murray, 39, Odell Beckham, he hasn't played yet, and then Gerald Everett, 10. But if you're looking at the guys on the bench that have the higher rankings, these are the average points per game. Gerald Everett, 9.38. Latavius Murray, 11.24. Fields, 21. Bills D, 8.25. Godwin, 15. Herbert, 18. Jason Myers, 10. Cowboys D, 11. Josh Jacobs, 22. Mark Andrews, 14. Hopkins, 21. Justin Jefferson, 22. Barkley, 18. Chubb, 18. Geno Smith, 19. So if you have a lot of guys that are averaging about 20 points per game, you know what I mean? That's why I'm projected for 130 to 140 every week. And that's much higher than everyone else in the league besides typically Sarah. Usually that's the only person. So thank you so much. Appreciate you, Tyree. But again, the main reason I feel that I'm so good at it is the effort. I'm on the website 2 hours a day. No one else on planet Earth is doing that. At least no one I've ever met. You know what I mean? But if you want to be great, you got to be able to click on the names. You got to click on all the names that are on the wire. You click on the names of your fucking opponents. You look ahead, in the schedule. You got to be able to look at many, many factors if you want to be great. And that is big facts. $30 in donos. Appreciate you. What do you want to see, Tyree? Give me some Eagles names or what you want to see, and I got you, and I'll take care of you. Appreciate you. That is a good question. Let me see if they have any new news. I mean, we're not going to know until we get further along, but let's look to see. The current depth chart is going to be, at least going in, and this could be modified before we get to game day. Gus Edwards, Kenyon Drake, Justice Hill is the current. So let me take a quick look here to see. But also injuries could play a factor. So let's take a quick look. Gus Edwards is averaging 8.9. He's healthy. And the last 2 games, he's put up 9 and a 1. So I don't think I would go there. And then let's look what Kenyon Drake is projected for. Kenyon Drake, looks like they're both healthy. And 7, 0, and 6. So if it was me, I wouldn't even go with either one. I mean, yeah, I know Lamar's hurt, but they're still going to throw the football. You know what I mean? They're still going to throw the football there. Lamar's out. They got Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley can ball. So, there's a chance that Tyler could still get like 20 fantasy points. Tyler ain't no scrub. So, I mean, there was a time where when Lamar got hurt, Tyler was balling, and they were like, Tyler should be the starter. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, but yeah. Danny Dimes against the Eagles, yeah. Yeah, you gotta find someone better. Yeah, I mean, like I said, as far as like my information side, I mean, like I said, there's people that, I had to cut off like 300 people on Facebook. You know what I mean? I had like 500, friends supposedly, but I was just getting sick and tired of just having just people on there just spying on me, or people just like asking me fucking questions for like free all the time for their bets. And then if they win, I don't, you're not rewarding me. Like, why the fuck am I helping you? It's like, if I'm supporting you and I'm helping you out, you have to make sure that you're taking care of me. This fucking information and this shit that I do is not for free. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to give someone betting advice fucking every couple days and then you're not going to take care of me. So definitely had to cut off some people. Don't take my kindness for weakness. You know what I mean? Randall Cunningham and Mike Quick. Yeah, but I don't know if anyone really trusts the running backs for the Ravens. They haven't been the same since Marshall Yanda retired. So, I mean, if you're having to use a fucking Raven running back, you're probably not in the playoffs, honestly. All right, let me get you a Randall Cunningham and a Mike Quick. Yeah, but the thing that I'm really proud of on the team is that I actually drafted a good chunk of the team, if you're looking at it. So if I'm looking at it, one sec here, just to give you kind of a breakdown. All right, so Justin Herbert, I drafted. Nick Chubb, I drafted. Saquon, I drafted. Justin Jefferson, I drafted. D-Hop, I drafted. Mark Andrews, I drafted. Josh Jacobs, I drafted. The only two pieces I didn't draft in my starting lineup, Cowboys D, I drafted Bills, right? And then I think I had like Steelers and dropped them. And then I ended up finding Cowboys week 1. And I knew Micah Parsons could be player of the year. So I was like, let me grab them now. And then they probably will be the number 1 D at some point. And they did. That saved me this year. And then I had Harrison Butker in the draft, right? He got hurt after week 1, dropped him. Then I got Koo, dropped him. And then I got Jason Myers around like week 3, week 4. I saw a trend. He had 2 games of 10 points or more. And I was thinking to myself, Geno looks good. I was like, maybe I can ride this all the way to the end of the year and I'll double dip with Geno and Jason Myers. And Jason Myers now is the number 2 kicker in fantasy. So sometimes you have to project, but you have to take a chance. And so that I got Cowboys D and Jason Myers. Geno Smith off the wire. So Cowboys D on the wire, Myers on the wire, Geno on the wire, drafted Godwin, drafted Bills D, Justin Fields on the wire, Latavius Murray on the wire, Odell on the wire, Gerald Everett on the wire. So half of my team is from the wire that I've made better. And if you don't do that, you're never going to win a championship. Sarah's team, she has made not very many moves, but with her, she's got a very deep, heavy hitter group. So she hasn't really had to do that as much as maybe other teams. She's probably one of the only teams that I've seen that hasn't done as much, but it hasn't hurt her. She's still, doing very, very good with what she has. And I'll read off her team and I'll get you some photos. This is Sarah's team. And Jake has done the second most moves. He's in third. Sarah hasn't not done very many moves this year. Let's take a quick look here. But she hasn't really had to because a lot of her players haven't gotten hurt. So she hasn't really had to look in another area to fill it. So she's 10-3. And she's only made 10 moves, which is insane to me. To only make 10 and you're still in second place. So her team is Josh Allen, Kareem Hunt, Jeff Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Kelce, Gabe Davis, Bucks D, Daniel Carlson. And on the bench, Jonathan Taylor, Mike Williams, Brandon Ayuk, Trevor Lawrence, Gesicki, Pickens, and Colts D. So a good chunk of the team for her is the main 11. Josh Allen, Kareem Hunt, Jeff Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kelce, Gabe Davis, Buccaneers D, Carlson, Jonathan Taylor, and Mike Williams. So it's just a simple fact that she has Mike Williams, Gabe Davis, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, right, on top of Josh Allen and Kelce. That's a big reason why she's at where she's at, because she's getting big points from Josh Allen every week, big points, from Amon-Ra St. Brown, big points from Kelce, big points from Gabe Davis. When Mike Williams is healthy, sometimes big numbers there, and good numbers from Carlson, the kicker. So, if you're being able to get 30, 20, sometimes you can get, 80 to 100 points out of 3 guys. So if you can get, 80 to 100 out of 3 to 4 guys, you're probably winning every week with 120 or more. You know what I mean? It's a 9-man, roster with a defense and a kicker. So you got to get points, but also you got to make sure you're getting good points at your kicker and your defense. You don't want your kicker and your defense to combine for like 7, and then you're going to get someone like me that gets 40 out of the kicker and that's the type of thing that helps you win championships, when you can get 10 to 20 out of your kicker and 10 to 20 out of your defense. And that's the difference that can make up for someone that shit the bed like at a running back, something of that nature. So, but yeah, very unorthodox. But again, it hasn't hurt her because she's got Josh Allen. He hasn't really gotten hurt. Tyreek is there. Amon-Ra St. Brown is there. Gabe Davis is there. Daniel Carlson's still there. And she's got Travis Kelce. So she's got like 5, 6 really big, heavy hitters, let alone Jonathan Taylor and Mike Williams, even though they've been hurt and not great. And then also, Ayuk, but she doesn't really use a lot of these pieces. It's pretty much Mike Williams, Jonathan Taylor, Carlson, Gabe Davis, Kelce, Amon-Ra, Tyreek. So it shows you if you got one of the top dogs in the league and they don't stay hurt for a long time, you can ride those guys all the way to the playoffs and maybe even a championship. So, all right, let me get some photos here of Randall Cunningham and Mike Quick. Good choice.
Some days, you just need it. It can be a memory or a feeling. Comfort.
All right, let me get a couple here for you in 1 sec.
Who got next? Okay, I see you, Ace. I see you, Ace. Okay, I see you.
Okay, no problem. Get some rest. And like I said, hopefully you'll be good tomorrow. And then I'll see you tomorrow. Get better.
Get Google Pixel 7 or Pixel 7 Pro for free. Plus get 50% off Pixel Buds.
Just had that break. No team has made a change. NBA tonight on TNT from Denver is presented by State Farm. Denver has outscored Dallas to start this third 11-3. Rick Russell is running it the other way. Dallas this quarter, 1 field goal, 3 turnovers. Murray just picked up his third. Yeah, but I like the aggressiveness of Murray picking up full court here.
69-67 Denver.
That's a better effort right there. Jokic now in his 8th season. He's had 15 double-doubles, Reggie, in 23 games. 3 triple-doubles. That's a 3-point try.
Rock and Randall.
That's the second time that Murray Jr. has been fouled attempting a 3-point shot. Bones Highland at the scores table getting ready to come in for Murray in those 4 fouls. So here is Hardaway continuing on a towards 3-point high.
I gotta leave you with a crispy. A lot of them are old school. Look at the Russell Athletic jerseys. So cool. Woo, baby. Crispy Randall. I got you, man. Crispy action shot, too. Might have to keep that crispy one right here. The other ones I can probably get rid of, but that one, man, that one might need to keep.
Mavericks have won consecutive games for the first time in 3 weeks. The Mavericks are tonight and 3 of 4.
Mike Quick. Okay, 1 sec here. So I can find you like something cool here.
To get contagious with Washington, they said, Joe Biden, Monte Morris, to get cold. In the corner, that's a 3. He carries it. Another shot. He's got 18 for the Mavs. 3 made threes as well for Hardaway.
Yeah, most of the Mike Quick stuff is not going to format because it's just, lower resolution and it's different size, but I can still throw up a couple.
Hardaway moments ago. With the ball movement around the perimeter there by Dallas. Dallas has made a lot of threes. Allen on the screen and a floater on the fly. Inside. He's got 7 rebounds. Nuggets have two top 23-point shooters in Rose Highland and Contagious Caldwell Pope on the floor right now. Offensively, Finney Smith. Hardaway, three. He is feeling it. He's a machine with 21 points tonight for the Mavs.
There's one with his autograph on it. All right. Appreciate you, man. We got a little Randall. That's a crispy one. Crispier than some of the other ones that are on the internet that are smaller and whatnot. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Let me get rid of some of these other ones. I think Paisley's turning into a terror usually around this time. She starts getting bitey and a little bit more aggressive. I heard some screaming from the room, so something's probably going on there. Mike in the building. How are you? Hey, I didn't know if you were going to show up. Thank you so much for your $20 dono to get us started. I didn't know, if you were going to show up at all. I was planning on streaming today. I usually post on social media like Facebook and Twitter, Instagram at what time so I didn't know if that was towards you weren't going to make it, or I wasn't streaming, or you weren't showing up, or there was no show today, or you were just trying to show love. I don't really know exactly, but I'm glad that you're here. What do you want to see for photos? So that way I pulled up a couple Bill Elliott's and some, I didn't know if you were going to show up or not, but I still threw up some Bill Elliott photos, and I did some Nick Saban stuff. But let me know what you want to see. And like I said, I'm just hanging out, helping, answer some fantasy football questions, as well as just, talking NFL. I'm just watching a little NBA, just hanging out, just grinding, just doing my regular hustle and grind. So what's up? Okay. You getting sleepy or hungry? You're going for the fridge, so I assume hungry. Paisley, are you being a terror? Yeah, I love that. See, that's a nice fun fact that most people would not know. Now, the real question is who was it against? And I assume you know that answer also. Is it against one of the rivals in the division or someone else? Look, it's the two bros, Mike and Eagles. I feel you guys are like separated at birth, that you guys would be like really good friends. Like if we ever did like a NWSF meet and greet where we could get like a bunch of people together and hang out, I feel Eagles, John, and Mike would be like bros. I think you guys got a lot in common, and you guys are have a lot of similar interests too. So it's nice when I can get you guys both in the room. All right, let's try to throw some photos up for Mike. So let me know what you want to see. And then, like I said, there'll be random fantasy football questions that people will trickle in. And I'll just try to help people win championships and, get better at fantasy. So, and Sarah wasn't here yesterday, and we felt it. At least we had Megan come and try to help, with the dono part. Instead of me saying it, over and over and over in the stream. But definitely it's not the same without Sarah in the stream. But at least Cyberpunk came in at the very end and then got us to the goal, because we were not even close to the goal. And then I think he hit us with like a 58 or like a 60 to get us to the goal, which was very nice of Cyberpunk to do that. Because if not, we would have been under 50 over a 3, 4, 5 hour period, which would have sucked. So that's big facts. Okay, well, normally Sarah would do that. Eagles, John, if you want to do that, like I said, let me know what you guys want to see, or it could be a combination of the two of you on whatever you want to see. So, Eagles, John, if you want something for Mike's dono, I'm still going to throw up a couple things here for him while he's just sitting here waiting. And then if there's something else, and we'll just wait for other people and we'll hang out. So, anything you guys want to discuss or talk about, let me know. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be sport related. It could always be, food. It could be cars. It could be NASCAR. It could be anything you guys want. So I gotta be able to do my due diligence, because that's just who I am. So I'm just going to give you some of the things that I know that you love, and that'll make me feel good. And then we'll go from there. So I got started off with some Bill Elliott, and then we'll do some Alabama gang. But I am glad that Sarah decided to at least show up for about an hour and a half, because yeah, it's just the flow of the stream is so different when she's not here, because it's like I need to have a number two. And I normally have like Jameson or I have Elliott, but Elliott hasn't been showing up, and Jameson sometimes shows up and sometimes doesn't. So it's like when you have your lead mod that's not feeling well, you definitely feel it for sure. And that's why I take care of her and, reward her with gifts each month, because I understand that when she's here, everything runs smooth. If she's not here, it's definitely harder. And the flow of the stream is not the same. So just like with the goats, when you guys are here, it's better. When it's not as many goats are here, it's a little different vibe. It's not bad, but it's just, there's certain people I look forward to talking to every day. We can just keep it at that.
To pull the trigger.
Yeah, Mike Quick. Yeah.
Take foul. I think it is too. Watch him grab right there. Yep. Well, I'm confused here. That certainly was a take foul there by Hardaway Jr.
All right, this is the coolest one I was able to find for Mike. I like this one. This one's kind of neat. This is like, oh, that one didn't turn out very well. Hold on. Let me see if I can find.
That's a clear take foul by Hardaway Jr. Now, they may be saying because it happened in the front court, didn't have the ball. He took a foul.
Yeah, there's this really good one that's like a collage of all his stuff, but it won't let me pull it up. Like I can pull it up, but then it's like a fucking really grainy version of what I want to see. All three of them don't want to format, but I got this one like pixelated version, but it's just kind of cool because it's a collage. But this is what I tried to find a better version of this. There was like, and this is what it was. It was like a nice little collage of all the Mike Quick stuff, but too fucking blurry though. All right, 84-78 Mavericks. Luka versus the Joker. It's been a good matchup. Two of the top 5 players in the NBA. Joker is very, very good. He does it all. I mean, he's just, big like a center. So I think, and then, it's not like a popular, name or a guy that they would, of course, certain fans would rather have like Steph Curry get MVP or Luka or Giannis, Joel Embiid. But if you actually look at what Joker does on the court, game in and game out, he's probably one of the most all around, the best. And that's why he's been getting some of these MVP awards, because even though it might not be fair to some people and they want someone more popular, it's a damn good player. Sometimes it's not pretty either, but I mean, he gets the job done. He puts out that effort, and he's very well-rounded. He can rebound, he can block, he can pass, he can shoot free throws. He hustles. He just doesn't have that prototypical look of a NBA superstar. It just kind of looks like a Greg Ostertag or like just some like regular guy running around out there. Like if you just saw him, you would be like, this guy is not an all-star MVP. He's not one of the top 5 in the NBA, but looks can be deceiving though. Calm down, Paisley. You're fine. Paisley got kicked out of the room. But you guys let me know where you want to go. If you guys have anything else that you guys want to see, just fire off a few names and we'll see. Like I said, I'm going to be here for a little bit longer. Obviously, we're only an hour and 35 minutes in, so I have to put in the work. And I'm just going to watch a little NFL games, watch this basketball game, and try to help people out on Twitter as well if they need some help. And thank you for Eagles, John and Sarah, for liking and retweeting the stream. I appreciate that. That'll definitely help get us more people. Ooh, Luka going to the line. I need to go get a Gatorade. I'm going to go to the fridge here. One sec.
Always in attack mode. Always looking to set up his teammates as well. So the Mavs tonight now, 19-21 at the line. And the Nuggets are 14 of 18. And the numbers for Luka tonight. One rebound away from that triple-double. First team All-NBA
All right. Decided to go with a Mango Madness Snapple. 86-80 Mavericks. Might be time to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gummies here pretty soon. The Fog Bowl. What's your prediction for this year for your team? I mean, do you think you guys are going to win it all? Like, what's your personal feeling? Like, you've seen a lot of good teams and a lot of bad teams and a lot of average teams. Do you feel that you can win it all? I mean, I would assume most Eagles fans think that they can go all the way, or at least to the Super Bowl. And then if you lose that to like the Bills or the Chiefs, I mean, I don't know, unless the Bengals go back again, I don't know if that would happen, but you can never doubt Joe Burrow. But Jalen is the MVP this year so far. And then you got all those people that were like, well, yeah, he sucks. We're gonna draft a quarterback after this next year. Yeah, I wonder what all those people are saying now. Now they're on the bandwagon and they have like fucking 3 jerseys of Jalen Hurts in their closet. Just like 6 months before that, they were just talking shit and saying how horrible he was. How they need to get somebody better. Yeah, that's the difference between young fans and old fans.
Gun shy out here from the 3-point line. Shot clock at 3. Fanatics 3. No. And here comes Brown the other way. It is 3. A foul called on Dallas as Bruce Brown, who just
Yeah, he did play. There was more than just him, though. There was a couple key big plays, with that long pass, downfield. And then obviously Keanu O'Neal knocking it out at the end after blowing a couple plays earlier. The Julio Jones catch, if he doesn't make that catch and steal it away in midair within 2 guys, 3 guys, there was a lot of things that had to happen for that comeback to come in place. But again, it's not like I really wanted to make the playoffs or anything, but yeah, definitely played like shit the whole game besides the last 3 minutes. And then, that's what happened. So, hey, Johnny, guess what? Now there's one less. See ya, bro. Go play with your Pokemon cards, brother. That's how I handle that. All right, man. Calm down, Paisley.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe. One dose starts to ignite your worst.
I know you love that shit, huh? What are the experts thinking that you guys will draft with that pick? What are the Eagles beat writers saying based off that pick if it stays to that pick or roughly that pick? Yeah, that was definitely crazy. I don't know if I was expecting that type of production and stuff. I mean, I did the game yesterday, and I mean, it was awesome when Godwin got the touchdown because I have him in fantasy, but then the holding got called, and then normally you're not going to be able to do it twice, and then Brady was able to do it again, which is pretty nice, surprising. But I'll take it. A win is a win, I guess. Not sure if I really want to go to the playoffs this year, but yeah, it definitely was an interesting game to say the least. I mean, it was boring for a while, but at least Tom got to show a little bit of magic. So.
We talked about him being benched in that New Orleans game. He's gotten the message. The attitude, triple-double production, 17, 10, and 10. 52nd of his career, 6 this season.
Well, at this point, like I said, let's do something. You know what I mean? Like I said, if I don't know how many people are going to show up, if people are not in the playoffs, because usually when we get this deep, either you're in the playoffs or you're not. So we can always look at food or something else. And so at this point, I'm just going to start throwing up like food, I think, and just look at that. And then if people start coming in and they want to ask something about fantasy, that's fine, whether it be on Twitter or on here. So I'm going to start with that. And if you guys have any recommendations on anything that you want to go from that route, I haven't got a chance to look at food or do any food stuff in a while. And hopefully we can get a little bit more support and we can get some more people coming through. It's been very challenging these last 2 months. It has not been good, to say the least. So hopefully things can get a little bit better. And I know we're in the holiday season. I'm not fucking stupid, but I just got to hope that things get slightly better as we go further along into December and then as we get into January and the new year. So probably just start off with some like meats or something here. And if you guys have anything that you want to see, let me know. But again, regardless of how many people are in the room, I have to keep going. You know, Sarah leaves, people don't show up. I have to keep going. This is my full-time job. I can't just be like, woe is me, fuck this. And then just, you know, I have to keep going no matter what. So regardless if there's nobody in the room or hundreds in the room, I have to keep going. That's just how it goes. Yeah, they are the most dangerous team out of any team in the NFL this year. Obviously, we don't know if it's going to be Bills, Chiefs, or Bengals, but it looks like it's going to be Eagles. Yeah, the Cowboys and the Vikings are pretty good, but those teams are not going to be able to go to Philly and win, the period. So, I mean, it should be Philly Chiefs, Philly Bills, Philly Bengals. Bengals is the long shot because they already went last year. But the Bengals have the Chiefs number. The Chiefs have the Bills number. So something's got to give. You know what I mean? But I would assume it's going to be one of those three teams. The crazy wild card team that would be like really surprising would be what, Miami, like the Dolphins maybe with Tua. But I'm not sure if they're the fourth best team in the AFC. But you know, them and the Titans are trying to battle it out for that spot. But you got Eagles, you got Cowboys, you got Vikings, and then you got like, you know, some sleeper teams. Like, I don't think Washington's that good. Giants, Seattle can be kind of a sleeper team. Tampa, but I mean, how many? Like Tampa could compete maybe with like a Seattle, the Giants, Washington, maybe the Niners if they don't figure out their quarterback situation. But, you know, Minnesota and Dallas and obviously Philadelphia are the three best. I was actually hoping, you know, the Niners weren't going to get banged up like that with Jimmy, but supposedly Jimmy can come back at some point. But that's a smooth sailing for you guys for Philadelphia. Calm down, Paisley. Relax, baby. It's okay, Paisley. Come in here. Hang out with Dad. I love you. I love you. Come here. If she doesn't want you in the room because you're bitey, you can hang out with Dad. I spend the most time with you anyways. Come here. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I know. I love you. Yeah, come here.
Create your own ultimate feast is here. Choose 4 of 10, like new cheddar-based shrimp. Welcome to fun dining.
More truck owners are switching to Ram, which means more people with holiday spirits are switching to Ram. And more people with not so much. More people who love the cold. And more people who don't. More good neighbors. And more people covered in tree sap are switching to Ram.
Now get $2,000 total bonus cash plus no monthly payments for 90 days on the 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
Hang out with Dad for a second. Hi.
Thanks so much, Coach. A lot of back and forth. We're entering the fourth quarter. How do you create more separation?
Well, the turnovers are going to make you all night long. We're creating offense for them, so we got to value the ball in the fourth quarter. Get a shot up every time. Got our defense. Luke is going to be out to start the board, take away the three-point line, defend, rebound, and get out and run. That's the word that best, especially in front of our home fans.
Montgomery got some early foul trouble.
Anything you guys want to see, let me know, food-wise or anything in general. I'm just going to look at food until we get more people coming through, asking fantasy questions, this and that. So this is pretty much up for you guys to whatever you guys want to see, anything you want to talk about, any topics, anything that you want me to pull a photo up, just comment. And then that'll kind of give some flow to the stream instead of me just pulling up photos just by myself here. It's always better to be able to talk to someone instead of me just sitting here talking to myself. So 91-88 Dallas. And hopefully we can get some of the GOATs to show up and show some love. Unless they want your boy to be homeless. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. Means a lot, man. Like I said, it's been really bad this month and last month. Like I said, I'm still able to like live, but it's nowhere near where we were at, from the previous months and whatnot. So last month was a challenge and stuff compared to the previous 6 or 7 months, and then this month looks like it could be even worse than last month, unfortunately. So thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I spend all my time with her. I don't even hang out with my friends anymore. I'd rather just spend time with her all day and all night, and then even hang out with other people, honestly. So thank you, Mike. Mike doesn't want O-Dog to be homeless. Thank you. What do you want to see? We can do like metal bands or something like that. I know you like looking at stuff like that as well. You just got to give me some names. Just give me some options and I'll take care of you. Plus, I like to work. I don't like just to sit. You know what I mean? I like to be able to work. So Mike with a 1985 $20 dono. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. And a little slow. I don't know where anyone is at. I mean, like I said, normally we'll have more people than this, but hey, it's what happens. But the thing that matters is we got people like Mike in the room and Eagles John, and that's nice, man. I appreciate you guys. Bang, bang. $28 holla. And it doesn't matter about the amount of people that are in the room. It's the people that are supporting and the people that are here. So I appreciate you. Yeah, because like I said, if it continues to be kind of shitty for me this month, I won't be able to get as many thumbnails. I want to be able to get as many as I can, for the games. And plus, we're going to be doing like bowl games and things of that nature too. So I want to make sure I have that nice fancy thumb, so that might attract more people. But unfortunately, with all the money that I've been spending on all the thumbnails, we haven't been getting any more subs. Some extra views, but not necessarily higher on the dono mark either. So it's ultimately I don't want to say I'm wasting money because it's good for presentation, and I'm investing in myself, but it's just not, it's not paying off based on the amount of dollars I'm paying for each one. You know what I mean? Like if I'm getting over 1,000 views on every single thumb, right? And, we're getting maybe a little subs and we're getting donos, then it's worth it. If I'm paying like 35, but if I'm paying 35 and I can make my own for free and I can get the same results, but I just want to be able to try to improve it for, maybe a newbie to be able to see. But again, if they're not even pushing me or even recommending or getting it out there, then it's almost like pointless. It's like I'm just fucking wasting money. But I know it's good for Facebook. It's good for Twitter. It's good for the presentation of the channel overall. But it just, I just want to get to a point in the day where I'm not getting fucking hated on. It's just always consistently getting hated on. It sucks. But you just got to keep going, man. You got to keep grinding. Yes. Thank you so much, man. So type something in. Use your fingers. I want to see enter. And I'll take care of you guys. Otherwise, you guys are just going to be looking at brisket or whatever I pull up until other people show up for either fantasy football questions or if anyone shows up at all.
Bones is doing right here, continuing to put pressure. Yeah, you come back with your head in the inner.
Yeah, but they can't move the football. You can still run the football and play good defense. But I mean, Dallas, is getting better, but you kind of have their number. Minnesota is kind of hit or miss, even though they got a good record. But I mean, like I said, those were the teams that were the best, pretty much. Niners, Eagles, Cowboys, and Minnesota. There could always be some sleeper team like Seattle that gets hot or something, but I mean, I don't know. There's definitely more of a clear path for Philadelphia compared to the Bills and the Chiefs and the Bengals, where we have no idea where it's going. So It's crazy, man. It's only 9:04. Like, where the hell is everybody? It's like, even if we're doing like fantasy football or talking NFL, it's like, we can do other things as well. So I'm saying, man, when Sarah's here, like I said, the vibe is a little bit different, but again, I want her to get better because, like I said, this is something that we're going to have for the long haul. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the trajectory of the teams, like who looks the strongest, it looks like it's going to be Dallas and Philly, just based off their offense with Dak now, and defense is very, very good. But if it ends up being Dallas, Philly, in Philly, I just don't see how Dallas is going to win there, or anybody for that matter, to be honest. That momentum in that crowd is going to be on a whole nother level. So. Yeah, I thought so.
And just like that, Dallas goes up by 6. Averaging plus 15 from behind the arcs tonight. Murray and Finney Smith to the Jokic screen and the whistle. It's a foul, and Finney Smith will pick it up for the Mavs. He's got 4, and we step aside in quarter number 4.
And what if I want to change my plan? Stay Farm's here to help. What if I want to change sports?
Newcomer Chris Paul is maintaining a narrow lead in these final meters. Here comes an opponent closing the gap. 1 foot in front of the other. They are battling it out. And Chris Paul edges ahead. Those are the hips of a champion.
At State Farm, we're there for you.
Come down, Paisley. Stop whining.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Not going to get to go in there. Just relax. You got booted out of the room is because you were being bad. You were being bitey. You're being a bad girl. Okay. You're going to have to hang out with Dad. I know. I know. It's not fair, is it? I know, honey. I have to do this so I can buy stuff for you. So I can buy you food and I can buy you treats. And I know. Trust me, I know. Yeah, I know. I wish more people would show up too. I know. I love you. I know.
To the mailman. Will my courtside season tickets?
I know. I see you, honey. I'm right here. I have to work hard. If I don't work hard, then we will be eating fingernails for dinner. Do you want to eat fingernails for dinner? No, I don't think you do. Okay. I know. I love you so much. Yep. I know. Life is hard, huh? Being a dog, snugging with Dad all day, getting kisses, going on walks. I know it's tough, huh?
Subway's dropping 12 new subs for the all-new Subway series.
I know.
There's juicy steak and crispy bacon. But what about the new boss? It looks so good. It makes me hangry. Sit down there, big guy. The new Subway series. What's your pick?
Yes, honey, I know.
Yeah, the big question is, does Luka have enough help around him going forward? You look at this list. Tatum has another all-star round. Giannis has 2, Middleton and Holiday. AD has
Oh, this one looks good. This is Kansas City burnt end sliders. These look good. I haven't seen this one before.
just going forward, you wonder if Luka has enough supporting cast to carry them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like her arm went numb or like her hand or her elbow and she didn't go to work, and then I think went to the chiropractor, and then I think she's got like some kind of flu or something where her body is achy or whatever. So I just told her to take the day off yesterday and just rest up. And she was doing different posts on like different news and everything, and she stayed for about an hour and stuff, but she's still not feeling too good. So but hopefully she'll end up being better, as we get closer to the end of the week. So, but I think she needs chiropractor work. And, like I said, it all depends on your diet and if you're exercising and, if you're actually, getting out there. It's like if you're not eating right and you're not exercising, and then you end up getting sick, and, it's like there's a lot of things that need to happen. But I know she stopped drinking like I did. So I know that probably helps quite a bit. What's going on, man? What's good? What's good, Air? I'm actually watching basketball. 104.99 Dallas over the Nuggets. What's good, Air? I know, honey. Life isn't fair. Trust me. I should know. No, we already knew it was going to happen. We were totally cool with it, man. Yeah, I'm just trying to, pull up some delicious stuff. I mean, like I said, if people want to show up for fantasy stuff, that's fine. I can't count on anyone that I give fantasy information to actually, take care of me properly until maybe next year. And even then, because a lot of fantasy football players are cheap. That's just how it goes. Unless you're like in a money league and, No, it's not you. You know what I mean? You're good, bro. You're good. Like I said, if you feel bad about stuff, you think about how I feel every day. It's like I'm, sold my $30,000 Michael Jordan rookie card. I'm fucking, paying for $35 fucking thumbnails that are overpriced. I'm not getting the proper results, like fucking streaming fucking every day. Sometimes I got to stream for fucking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours just to make ends meet. Like that shit is not fun sometimes, It's like people are like, oh, it's so fun for you, on YouTube. Not really. I mean, it can be fun at sometimes, but I mean, I'll tell you what, there's no fucking YouTuber on planet Earth is like, yeah, I would love to stream for 7 hours every fucking day. No one said no one ever, It's like everyone wants to be able to spend time with, family and, be able to do their own thing. But, if you have dreams and goals, you got to grind it out. There's going to be times where there's going to be a lot of people in the room. There's going to be a lot of times where nobody's in the room, and you just got to keep going, I did some brisket here, but yeah, it's nothing for you, bro. Like there's a certain amount of goats that I look forward to talking to. And like I said, it's just a matter of people show up and show some love and show some support and, go that route. Cause I hope it doesn't get to a point where I'm not getting enough support and then I have to get a part-time job or something to supplement, living and everything. So, I mean, we've gone all the way from January until now and we haven't had a problem, but last month was rough compared to the previous months. But, this month, it looks like we're in a worse position than we were even last month. So I don't know what to say about that. But the bright side is we still have, another like 25 days or so. So that's at least good. But now, if you had obviously, if I had more people, then it wouldn't be as much pressure for certain people to take care of me. You know what I mean? But like I said, if the tube is not helping, then it's really hard to grow when you're not even being able to get your own notifications to your own fans. So it's a love-hate relationship that I have with the tube. That's facts. But the best part is being able to have that connection with people. But I mean, at this rate, it's going to take me fucking 40 years to get past 20,000 subs. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. It shouldn't take, months and 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 months to get 140 subs. You know what I mean? But if nobody's helping you, then you're just, it's like you're fucking stuck. So yeah, Bellinger to the Cubs for 1 year. I saw that. Yeah, don't apologize, man. I'd rather have you in here than just some little fucking kid troll motherfucker that I have to give the big boot to. Get some little motherfucker that comes in here. Boom! That's what they fucking get. And then afterwards, then I do this. And then we keep going. Yeah, but when things usually end up getting stressful or bad, that's when I just take more gummies. I'm like, all right, man, well, fuck it, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I'll just take a fucking shitload of gummies and I'll just start fucking looking at pictures of food and, at least I'll be mentally better at that point. You know what I mean? If instead of just me being sitting here completely sober and, that way I can at least gain a little bit of an appetite, look at some awesome food, and then I'll eat afterwards. So, yeah, obviously, I don't really want to go to the playoffs or anything, but it was a great performance by Brady, playing like shit the whole game and having 2 scores within the last 3 minutes. There's not very many people that would have been able to do that, but it was more than just Brady. It was a lot of the other big plays that happened to help us. So that's big facts. Keon O'Neal with the tip away, the Julio Jones catch. There was a lot of big moments and stuff. And, a lot of the players that we have on the line absolutely stink. Like Donovan Smith, the left tackle, is one of the worst in the league. So it's like he's not doing his job. Wirfs didn't play. The interior offensive line is all injured. It's a bunch of second and third stringers. It's just, there's a reason why we're so fucking bad. And then we don't have Gronk, but at least Cade Otton, the rookie, is starting to get into Brady's good side. So you can see him kind of going to Cade Otton a little bit more. But I mean, the team sucks. The team is just not fun to watch for me. So. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. But, the sad thing is with all those extra views that I get on Twitter or in NASCAR or baseball, I'm not getting subs, though. You know what I mean? It's like you get all these people that are fucking watching, you know what I mean? But then no one is subbing, so it's like I can pay all this money for all these upgraded thumbs and all this stuff. But, you're not getting people that are actually subbing to the channel, which is kind of heartbreaking, too, because you just want to be able to grow. But like I said, I was able to do that in the first couple years when I wasn't making any money and they were putting their own ads on my shit. And then I decided to do live streams and they cut me off. And then they don't want to even help me at one bit at all. Last 4 years, it's been walking in mud. It's tough. So yeah, but a lot of people are dickheads and they have too much egos. Or people are assholes or they're liars. So of course, there's been times where people have reached out or I've reached out to them, but a lot of them, I feel that are threatened by me, or they feel that they're going to, I'm going to steal their subs away. You know what I mean? There's a big reason why certain things happen, because I think they feel that, you know, if I meet their fan base, that they're going to leave whoever it is, and then they're going to come to me, which is probably true. Where we would get a lot of people's, you know, subs to at least, you know, not necessarily leave the original guy forever, but maybe split the time between that guy or girl and then having people come here. But a lot of people, like, I don't mind. Like, I would definitely, you know, do collabs, but the problem is everyone has such a fucking ego that they want it to be their way. They want it to be on their stream. They don't want you to steal any of their fans or their donations. You know what I mean? People are fickle and shit, and then they get jealous and there's envy, and, you know, I don't know what it is, man. People are just fucking haters. You know, everyone wants to be the man or the woman, you know what I mean? But a lot of people aren't willing to work hard for it, you know, or they already are plugged in, you know, with certain people. So, yeah. So, like I said, you know, it's one of those things, and it's really hard too, you know what I mean? Especially, it's like, if you've never worked with someone, because, you know, if you've never worked with somebody online, you don't want to like talk over them. So a lot of us are hosts, so we already have our own flow and control. And it's like, if you're doing a stream with someone, you don't want to actually have someone keep cutting you off, you know what I mean? Or if you're cutting them off, then it just becomes like this clusterfuck of people talking on the stream. So, you know. No, but I appreciate that. And I really did enjoy doing baseball and NASCAR. It's just kind of a shame that, like, I got more subs on that one stream where it was like Daytona at night. You know what I mean? It was like the one chance I was able to kind of break through, and I was getting some really good views. Then the race got canceled. And then, you know, and sometimes all you need is one stream to kind of get you some exposure where you actually have quite a few people in the room, like 100 or more, and then you can gain some subs. But if they're never going to give me an opportunity to do that, then it's really tough. And then also people can like sub to you and then 2 weeks later unsub, you know what I mean? So it's hard, man. It's you know, it's not one of those things that's that, you know, the weak at heart can stomach, you know what I mean? I'm in this for the long term, but there's a reason why so many people do quit YouTube and Twitch, because it's so hard to even get to the first 100 subs or the first 1,000. And then it's hard enough to get to a point where you can actually make this a full-time job. Most people can't, you know. Either they're not mentally strong enough or they're not talented enough. But at least, you know, we have a good core group. You know, I got a team. We got Sarah. We got great mods. I got Johnny, you know, for the thumbs. And, you know, we just got to take it one step at a time. But I just try to keep everything transparent and honest instead of me lying and acting like everything is fucking great all the time, you know, because I'm not a liar. I'm not fucking fake. Like, if things are good, you know, you'll probably know it. But if things aren't fucking good, it's not to be like, oh, woe is me and this little pity party. But, you know, I just have to be myself. I have to just, you know, keep it real. So, no, don't worry, man. Like I said, people do what they can do. And like I said, it's very tough to do when you have usually 20 people or less in the room. Most people that have 20 people or less in the room at all times are not able to do this full time, you know. And then if the heavy hitters don't show up, then you're fucked. So I just have to try to get more people, more potential heavy hitters. And, you know, that's why I tried doing, you know, baseball and NASCAR and all these things. But for whatever reason, it just seems like it's not working. But, you know, I just got to keep the faith and then go into next year. And, you know, because like I said, I should already be over 20,000. It's like ridiculous. You know, it's like you're telling me I stream every day for like 6 months, right? And I've already streamed like this whole year, and we can't gain like 50 subs, 100. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's like they you know, there's certain channels that get like the clamps, and they just, you know, they definitely promote the ones that they want to promote, and then they fuck over the ones that they want to fuck over. That's facts. So. Yeah, and that's why I think people like it here. You know, it's not chaos, and people appreciate that. But also, I think sometimes with others, not you guys, you know, they just assume that, I don't know, I'm rich, and that, you know, you can just watch me for 5 hours, and if nobody else is donating, then why should I donate? You know what I mean? But it's like, if this is my full-time job and I got no other income, I can't just be sitting here for fucking 5 hours, 6 hours at nothing. You know what I mean? No one would do that. Nobody works for free, so. Yeah, I'm always down to, like, there was supposed to be a big collab that was supposed to happen, but I honestly think that people got jealous and they thought that I was going to steal their fans, which I think they're right. And, you know, I can't help it if I'm just fucking genuine and real, and we have a great group here. And, you know, if you're threatened by me and whatnot, or, you know, if some of your mods came over to my channel, you know, and you're not happy about that, but, You know, all I can do is be authentic and be real and not be a fucking liar. And it just so happens that there's a lot of people out there that, you know, kind of try to be like this personality on YouTube, but they're not really that person. You know, so it is what it is. She's still sick. Like I said, I had her take the day off yesterday, and then she came in here for the first hour and a half, and then she, I don't know if she's going to work tomorrow, but I think she's got the flu. So I think she's just trying to take it easy until she heals up. So, and like I said, usually she doesn't miss too much time. In the last 6 months, I think she's only missed like 3 days in like 6 months, you know, on days that she was sick. A couple days, like around, you know, summertime. And then, you know, probably, you know, there'll be a couple days this month probably. But that's why it's so important to be able to have people that are reliable. And that's the main reason that I had Sarah be the lead mod, because there's others that could have maybe, you know, been in that position. But if I can't have you here every day, then, I mean, I can't necessarily give you lead mod status if you're not going to be here. And it's a big responsibility to be here because I grind harder than most people. I'm here for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. But, you know, that's why I try to give her gifts every month to kind of say thank you for all her hard work that she does. Because, like I said, I've definitely put in a lot more time than, you know, the average streamer. You know, most people, they'll stream a couple times a week, then they'll do a few uploads. They're not usually streaming every day, you know, for 6 months. So, oh, I know you do. And it doesn't have anything to do with anybody in the room. It's just a lot of frustration of not being able to fucking grow, you know, not being able to get notifications of people that already sub, you know, not being able to get something as simple as like 100 subs or 150 subs, you know, to get. And then you got a bunch of these like fucking dickheads and these assholes that I got to boot. So there could be like potential subs there. But, you know, if these people are going to be fucking dickheads and assholes, I don't want them. You know what I mean? I'd rather be at 19.8 or 19.9 instead of being at 20,000 or 20,100, but then it's toxic in here. Like, oh, great, I'm at 20,000, but then everyone fucking hates it here because you got too many fucking little kids and little assholes here, you know, causing problems. So,
Give the gift of shine.
yeah, Mike, you've been awesome, man. Like I said, if it wasn't for you, because like I said, sometimes we'll have Cyber, sometimes we don't. You know, sometimes we have Holly, sometimes we don't. You know, sometimes we have a Mr. Williams, sometimes we don't. So if I don't have like the 3 main heavy hitters, I mean, there's a reason why we normally are sitting at under $50 when I'm doing 4 or 5 hours because they're not here. So, but then you have become one of the big heavy hitters. So there's been times where we would be at fucking nothing or like $5, and you've been able to get us to, you know, 80 or 100 or 150 or 200. So I really do appreciate it. You know, like I said, it's tough. It's tough, man. I think, like I said, we're slept on here. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize what we have here. You know, they're just so used to watching what they're already watching. But if we could just get a little bit of exposure compared to whoever their favorite streamers are, I guarantee, you know, people would like it because you're not only going to get good visuals, but we have a great group of people. But, you know, it all depends if people can find us. And if people can't find us or they're just stuck with their own, then it's kind of hard to be able to, you know, gain more. So, you know, I'm definitely not one of YouTube's favorites, unfortunately, you know, because if I was, I would probably be sitting at like 30, 40, 50K, you know, subs by now, at least minimum, especially when, you know, we've been hovering around 20, you know, for like 4 years. You know what I mean? Like most people would have quit by now. You know what I mean? It took me 10 years to get to this fucking point. And, you know, first 2 years, you know, when I'm not making any money, they're just promoting everything. 10,000 views this video, 100,000 views, 50,000 views. Doesn't mean shit because you're not getting anything for it. And then, you know, trying to be able to make a living and do live streams and whatnot. And then, you know, they just decide to pull the plug and just let me drown. So, yeah, I don't either. I you know, there's a lot of people that I think that still do watch, but there's also people that don't watch him anymore. But if you keep your word is everything to me. If you say you're going to do something, do it, especially when you're getting a good response from people in the room. You know what I mean? But I honestly feel that it's a jealousy thing from Holly and a few other people that came from the channel, thinking that I'm taking his money, I'm taking his people. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's like everyone has their own choices to make. You know, everyone has their own choices to make, you know, on who they watch and who they support. But I'm a man of my word, and there's certain people on YouTube that are no longer, you know, a man of their word or a woman of their word. So, you know, it's all good though. You know what I mean? Like I got, you know, I got a amazing artist to do thumbs. You know what I mean? And you know, I got some good people out of it. You know what I mean? But like I said, yeah, like even if it went down the road and there was an opportunity to like do something together, I would be like, fuck no. Even if there was an apology made, you know, still not happening. I would never, ever, ever partner up ever. You know, if you're gonna be that way towards me, then yeah, I got no respect for you. So the team streams, oh, I bet. That's why I can't be a part of any Buccaneer or Duck ones. You know what I mean? Because everyone talks shit so much. It's annoying, man. I tried to be a part of a couple, but it's just way too toxic. You know what I mean? And then you get people fighting with each other in there. It's like first you're talking shit, like if you're in a Buccaneer like fan room. Then they're like, fuck the Saints, fuck the Panthers, fuck the Falcons, fuck everybody. And then they're like, fuck you. And then they're just arguing with each other like in the room. It's like, I don't know. It just, you know, if you want to have something toxic, you can join one of those fan pages for Instagram or Twitter, but I can't even do it for Ducks either. I'm just like, fuck that. I can't do it. So yeah, but it is what it is, man. All I can do is work hard and keep my word. If I say I'm going to do something, and like I said, just try to reward the people, you know, that I would want to be rewarded. So, you know, people end up, you know, supporting and donating heavy, then they're going to get something cool from me, like a jersey or a jacket, not some fucking corny ass pencil or something fucking stupid like that. It's like, you know, but it is what it is, you know. It's like almost disrespectful. Someone's donating hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in return you get a koozie or a pencil, or like, who the fuck does that? Someone that's not in touch with reality and that doesn't give a shit about the people that are supporting them. That's who. So it's like a disgrace, man. Thousands of dollars of support, and you give them a fucking 50-cent koozie, a pencil. Fuck out of here.
It's early, but the battle in the East is already raging. And there's a new fight for best in the West. Just when you think you've seen it all, you realize you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, but also too, you traded away all those pieces, you know, with Roquan Smith and you know, and Robert Quinn. You know, you traded away the defense. So the whole goal for the Bears at this point, you know, was just to try to dump the salary. The defense is no longer there. That's why you're losing. But it's just to get Justin Fields acclimated. Where yeah, you have other guys like Montgomery that you can hand the ball off to. They have other guys that they can go to, or Herbert, right? They got Khalil Herbert or they got Montgomery. But Justin Fields is such a weapon with his legs. You know, I mean, he can run, he can throw. And they're going to, you know, things will be different moving forward. But eventually the Bears and the Lions hopefully will be able to put it together. But at least on the fantasy side, Justin Fields is doing some amazing things. So, all right, I think I got to go clean up some shit. So I'm pretty sure Paisley took a big old fat dumper in the other room. So I'm going to go clean that up here real quick, and I'll be right back. So I did not see it, but he had like some kind of seizure or something, right? All right, you guys look at some burnt ends, and I will go pick up some shit, and I'll be right back. NWSF, professional shit picker-upper.
Escape with a 1-point win. Because of the second miss by Hardaway, it speeded up time. If it would have been 4.2, where they could have gone the length of the court, threw the ball all the way down, they're going to save precious time. What a road win. I mean, this is a huge win by Dallas on the road here. The Mavericks win their third game on the road. They've won overall 3 in a row, 4 of 5. And they've won a couple straight on the road. When they beat New York on Saturday, they hadn't won on the road since October. Here they won Saturday.
All right, I'm back. Professional shit picker upper. Paisley's looking at me. Yeah. Your poo-poo is smelly. It's okay. I still love you.
On 12 shots. Let's send it over to Steph.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Yes, big night for Tim Hardaway Jr. Season high for you, Tim, this one time. But also, you're only the 10th player in NBA history to score 5 3-pointers.
God, these NBA reporters are horrible.
Really? Sorry to break it to you, bud. Keanu's not winning that match.
Yeah, but it all depends on what they do with it. But at least now moving forward, like, you know, for all the people that thought Justin Fields maybe would be a decent football player or they didn't know. I mean, he's already breaking records. He already got like 3 rushes for 50 yards. That's more than any quarterback that's ever been able to have that in their career. And he's done it in a matter of a month. So, you know, no other quarterback in NFL history has had 50-yard touchdowns or longer as a quarterback in the NFL. And he already has 3 or 4 of them already in like a month and a half. So Fields is definitely exciting, and he might not be able to do like, if to be very honest, the Niners fucked up and they should have probably picked Justin Fields instead of Trey Lance. Because if they would have had Justin Fields, things would have been much better for them, I think, moving forward. But for whatever reason, they thought Trey Lance was going to be so much better. But I'm thinking the Niners fucked up on that. They should have just picked Justin Fields, and they probably would be sitting pretty, you know, for the next 5 to 10 years. And then, you know, you can still keep Jimmy if you want, you know, just as a backup. And then if he wants to go that route. But I think that'll be one thing the Niners are thinking, like, okay, you had Zach Wilson, you had Trevor Lawrence. Will these guys ever pan out? You know, we don't really know. And then you got Trey Lance, Mac Jones. But it looks at this point that Justin Fields is probably going to be the best one out of them all. And that's kind of what we thought going into the draft, besides Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence could be end up being the best, but he's going to have to go to another team. It's going to have to be like go to the Niners after his rookie contract's up and get better coaching and better play callers and better, you know, supporting cast. And then we can really see Trevor maybe turn into a top 12 quarterback. But if he stays with the Jags, there's no guarantee that Trevor ends up being a top 12 ever. So at this point, I mean, I think Justin Fields looks like he's got the highest ceiling out of the 5 guys with Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. Who knows if he'll play football ever again. Mac Jones is average. And then you got Trey Lance, who's injured. But right now it's probably, I think, to me, Fields and then Trevor Lawrence below him. But Trevor's got to go to a better team. And also with Fields, if he goes to a better team, that could elevate their games and go to something else. But at least you're seeing magic already with like no offensive line, not a whole lot of weapons at wide receiver or tight end. And Fields is making plays, but you just need O-line. I like the running backs they have with Herbert and Montgomery, but they need someone better than Mooney and maybe someone better than Cole Kmet. They need more tight ends and wide receivers, better O-line, like when they had Olin Kreutz. And then they also need way more defense because they gave up Quinn and they gave up Roquan Smith, and that's pretty much your whole team right there. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things move forward, but yeah, Eagles have. All right, I got NXT on because I'm done watching basketball. If you guys have any suggestions on anything that you guys want to see, like I said, just let me know. Just type it in the chat, and I'll keep grinding. And I'm probably going to be here for, I don't know, another hour and maybe 12 minutes because my cutoff usually is going to be around 11, but I might not even go that long. We'll see. Sometime between 10 and 11, it's already 9:38, so I might have to start a little bit earlier tomorrow, but yeah, I just want to be able to support Johnny as much as I can, but you know, like I said, I just wish that we got a little bit better like views, and some kind of like sub movement, you know, but maybe things will get better next year. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully 2023 is a great year for me. That's what I'm hoping for. Because now I'll be going into my 11th year next year, and it'll be my 7th year on YouTube next year in like a couple weeks. So, but pretty much this is my first year full time. So I'm starting over. So even though it'll be year 11 in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it'll be like year 2 being full time. So I'm pretty much starting over from scratch, even though I'm at that, 20K mark or just barely. So The real question is can you beat Sarah in the playoffs to play me in the championship? That's a real question, Jake. Can you win it all? Your team's good enough. You know, you got a team. You got Hurts and Tua, so you cashed in with the two quarterbacks that people didn't really know how good they were going to be this year. And you got a pretty good squad. You've made the second most moves, so that's obviously noticed by me. I don't think anyone noticed that besides me in the league. But like I said, you made like 50 moves, and if you didn't make 50 moves, you wouldn't be in fucking third place right now. So that's a big part of putting effort in. I'm at over 100. You're at 50. You're in third. Sarah's only done 10, but she's got 11 heavy hitters, and she can rotate between the 9 that she needs, and she's got 2 good backups, and then the rest of the bench she doesn't even really use. But the hitters are so good. Travis Kelce every week, Josh Allen every week, Amon-Ra St. Brown it's like just between 3 or 4 pieces, she can get 100 points. And that's why she has the record that she does. But I usually don't see people that make 10 moves in a season with the record of 10-3. That's pretty rare. So, but she just got the right superstars that have not got hurt long-term and that have hit almost every single week. Just between Mike Williams and Gabe Davis getting really strong number 2 wide receivers who put up number 1 stats, and then having Amon-Ra St. Brown. And even though Jonathan Taylor hasn't done anything for her this year, if he did, if Jonathan Taylor was Jonathan Taylor from last year, she might be in first place this year. She might be right there with me. So, but it'll be us 3 and then one other team. But I definitely think that you could win it all, because especially if me and Sarah have tough matchups, anything can happen. So. No, dude, I did not see it. Did you? What is it? Like wrestling figures? You know how much I love wrestling figures. Yeah, but also too, Tyler, you might be playing with fucking morons. Okay, 5 moves and 10-3. You might be playing with a bunch of little kids, people that don't have brains. And like I said, how many people are in your league? 6 people in the league. I mean, some people are smart, some people are stupid, but I mean, 10-3 and 5 moves means that you're playing with people that aren't playing. You're playing with people that quit. You're playing with people that don't know anything. 5. I mean, like I said, it's rare. Sarah's 10-3 and she's only made 10, unless you had an incredible draft. Well, that means, getting Jalen in Mahomes should have been someone that you drafted. So if it's a 12-man league, then they don't obviously know what they're doing. No, not Daniel Carlson. He's been one of the best kickers all year. You keep him. No, I did not see the figure post. Let me go. When did you post? If you want to send it to me, you can send it to me. I mean, if you have 2 kickers, sometimes, I always do things different than everyone else. Like I can run 2 kickers or 3 defenses. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of times people have way too many running backs, way too many wide receivers, and they stick with 1 kicker and 1 defense. And they wonder, how come I'm not winning the championship? Well, because you're fucking stupid and you only have 1 kicker all year or 1 defense. You got to have depth. Just because kicker and defense is not sexy, it's like an offensive lineman. You still need to have options. You need to have a couple options. If you just stick with 1 kicker or 1 defense the whole year or a majority of the year, when it comes down to the playoffs, you're going to fucking lose, because there's going to be someone else that gets 40 points out of their kicker and defense and you get 6 combined. And then you're like, well, I should have did something. Like I got Cowboys D and Bills D, but Bills D is almost droppable. I only have them just that way if they have a matchup, but Bills D has been dog shit. They were very good early on, but I don't even use them anymore. They're ranked 6th, but they're dog shit. I mean, if you look at their numbers, they started off 18-22. I'm like, wow, I did a good job by drafting them, right? Then it went to 6, 8, 10, 6. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really like 6 points on defense, but if a lot of the other teams in the league are sucking ass and they're doing bad, then I guess I have to live with 6 or 8 points once in a while, right? But since all the injuries have happened, the last few games for the Buffalo Bills, 4, 4, 3, 4, 8, 6. Why the fuck would I play that? I'm not. So essentially I could drop the Bills D, but I'm not going to. But the Cowboys D, I got them. They're the number 1 D, and I got them like week 1 on the wire. So I knew that they would be good. And 4, 9, 10, 11, 22, 6, 19, 10, 2, 16, 3, 19. So yeah, there's going to be some bad games, but there's also going to be weeks where they win your league for you by putting up a 19 or a 16 or a 22. So yeah, but if I wasn't able to replace Bills D and Butker with Cowboys D and Jason Myers, because essentially I upgraded the Bills to the Cowboys, so I got the number 1 D, and then I also upgraded Harrison Butker to Myers, and I have the number 2 kicker. So like I said, you're trying to get as many top 10 players in your starting lineup. So Eagles and Bucks. Yeah, and you just have to look at matchups. Yeah, trading is cheating anyways. If you can't win in a league without trading, then you don't deserve to win a championship. I never allow trades in my league. It's just, there's too much collusion, too much bullshit that goes on. Yeah, but that's called cheating. That means that you have no skill if you're just trying to be able to pick up a Devontae Adams and just, get it for someone that, because they're not even playing. That shows zero skill. Especially when someone is quitting that's not even playing. We got an NXT pay-per-view this weekend. We'll be going to the Blazers and the Timberwolves on Saturday. Going to go to the arcade, play a lot of old school games, do that for 2-3 hours, get some good food, maybe some stuff like this, and then go to the Blazer game, come home, relax, hang out with the dog, and then we'll grind it out on Sunday with some NFL games. But I'm excited, man. I haven't been able to hang out with my buddy in a while. We were supposed to go to the Mariners-Astros game 4, but obviously we got beat, so I wasn't able to do that. And usually we go to Seattle for Mariner games, not necessarily Seahawk games because he's a Bronco fan, but we'll do Blazers, we'll do Ducks, and we'll do Mariners. All right, let me see it.
Talking about the women, we turn our attention to the men because Axia earned his opportunity earlier tonight.
Oh, nice. You got did you show Odin's son? Bro, Odin's son would like flip over this. He loves Shotzi, dude. Looks like an elite figure as well. And elite figures are awesome. They always have like extra arms, extra head, extra belt, extra clothes, whatever. That's awesome. When did you get that? You just got it? How much did that run? Like 20 to 25? Well, Tyler, if you're in a 6-man league and you got a super team and no one else is playing in your league, I don't know if it really matters if you grab anybody or you don't, because you're playing in a league with people that aren't even playing. You know what I mean? Like if you want to end up holding up that trophy, that WWE belt of being a champion out of 6 people and the other 5 aren't playing and you have a stacked team, then I don't think there really needs to be moves to be made, if you got some super team and people aren't playing. 12, man. How many people are actually playing in the 12? How many people actually know football that are playing in the 12-man league?
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Humbug. My signal is totally ghosting me.
Tis the season to switch to Verizon.
This holiday season, Verizon gives you the new iPhone.
Yeah, especially if you have this right here. You have Hurts and Mahomes. That means you're playing in a league where people don't know how to play, because there's no way in hell that you have both the number 1 and the number 2 quarterback. It's just not happening. That question alone, when you first came in, that you have Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, that tells me you're playing with a bunch of people that don't know how to play or that aren't even playing. Just saying.
Over 200 career-focused programs, SNHU can help move your career.
Yeah, but fantasy, it means something when people are playing against you, when you got half the league that's given up and you're winning automatically because they're not even changing the roster. They're not even moving the pieces in the lineup. Guys that you're beating each week, or you got fucking guys that have buys and they're getting zeros. I don't know. Like those type of victories, that shit don't matter, dude. It's like getting a win against someone that's not playing. I mean, that doesn't take any skill. So.
Try down the Wrinkle Guard fabrics out there. Wrinkle Guard penetrates deep into fibers, leaving clothes so soft, wrinkles don't want to stick around.
But hopefully you win. I mean, winning a fantasy football league ain't easy.
It's more than breakfast. It's an adventure.
You know what's better than fantasy football? Fucking Buc-ee's.
The whole clan, especially Mark Kellogg's cereal.
Pulled pork and brisket. That's what's fucking good.
Only in theaters December 16th. This film's not yet rated.
Yeah, but obviously in fantasy, it all depends on the playoffs. Because like I said, you could be dominant all year, score the most points, have the best record. And like I said, just like me in the last 3 years, but if you don't do good in the playoffs, it doesn't matter and you lose. You'll get second or you'll get third. No, but I do like that Shotzi figure. That's dope, man. Like I said, that's the thing I like collecting the most is like wrestling figures, but I haven't collected anything. Like the last wrestling elite figure I got was like Braun Strowman, like years ago, like probably a couple years ago. I haven't bought a wrestling figure in at least like a year and a half or 2 years, probably, especially if the last one I got was Braun Strowman when Braun was still initially, wrestling at that time, before they like let him go and then he came back. So.
Yeah, it's life changing. It really is life changing. The Dexcom G6 has helped me lower my A1C.
Now I feel like I got this.
Dolphins, Chargers, on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
Drink them if you got them.
USA presents the perfect cocktail for a damn good time.
I'm horny as hell, so I'm ready.
Next, 2 parts of this fight. 2 of the toughest, one of those physical things you've ever seen here. Battle 2 of the greatest.
That shit looks good. I could go for one of those right now. No lie. Ooh, shit. That looks good. Yeah. Well, like I said, we probably won't have you in the league ever again, for that. Just being honest, just because anybody that does that, it's like, I don't like people getting free wins, throughout the year. But again, you had a lot going on. So if it was somebody else, I probably would be more pissed. But since it's you, it's, I'm not going to be as mad about it. And honestly, let's be honest, Air Freak, anyone that's ever done fantasy, there's always a minimum of one person that always quits, whether they quit week 1, week 2, week 4, but usually the person that quits is usually before the halfway point. It's usually somewhere between like week 2 to like week, or maybe a third of the way in the season. Sometimes it gets to that halfway mark, maybe around like week 8 or week 9. But most people, if they're going to quit, it's usually done before week 6. They just say, fuck it. So no worries, man. I'm not going to hold any grudge against you or anything. It's just, we just want to have, because there was a lot of people that wanted to play, but again, if I would have had somebody else, maybe they would have quit too. So, it happens, man. Not every person is dedicated to go through. And also too, if you do 2 or 3, that's going to be more for you to quit. And usually I try to have people that only do 1. So that way they can just focus on this one. But did you? No way. What did you get? Did you get something to eat? I've never been, but I definitely want to eat it one day.
seen the field get set moments ago. It's in the order of punch your ticket in advance. Who will make history? Who will become the #1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship? We will find out in the innovative Women's Iron Survivor Challenge this Saturday at NXT Deadline on WWE on Peacock. When you talk about Deadline, you have to talk about the NXT Championship. No more diamonds, no more boats, no more fishing. Ron Breaker looks to retain the title against the man who came back to NXT to finally claim the gold. It's Bruce and Breaker in one-on-one for the NXT title. And after what we've witnessed here earlier tonight, Alba Fire will get her hands on Isla Dawn. The blood is boiling, the spirits will be in the air. These two go one-on-one. You do not want to miss NXT Deadline again this Saturday. Live WWE on Peacock.
You spent did you? What'd you buy at Bass Pro Shops? Did you get yourself like a new bow or some new arrows, new gun? You know, dude, what did you get? Did you get some new gear, some new Cabela's stuff? Like, you know, Bass Pro Shop got all kinds of crazy stuff. Bass Pro Shop and Cabela's.
Most pinfalls wins the #1 contendership to the NXT Championship. And it's very rare you get the opportunity to be in a first-time ever WWE match. And we all know you don't forget your first time, right? Except for that fat bloke in the first row, because with that hand you never had a first time. You could have lifted up, bud. Hey, sorry, boys, sorry. I'll get back to what we're supposed to be here for. The 5 of us are going to be linked together forever. And it is an absolute honor to be in this ring tonight and on Saturday night with all you lads. So let's introduce him. First of all, the Whiz Kid of NXT and the only man brave enough to wear a turtleneck in 2022. It's Axiom. On my right, he went from being a sociopath to a psychopath. He represents the sesame, the shiz. It's John Gacy! Fresh from his appearance in my front yard this weekend.
New bow. I had a feeling you got a new bow. I don't know why I thought that, but that's why I said it. Something told me you got a new bow. What kind of fishing gear did you get? Some new lures, or what did you get?
Calm down. A-Champ being an a-hole. I get it. But hey, the chat's popping off right now. Can we get a question up on the screen for me? There's so many here. Let's get one up. Ooh, from Ring Fox 1. Great name. What advantage do you have that'll make you the first ever Iron Survivor? Lads, I'm actually going to answer this one because I'm the only one here who knows what it takes to be a survivor. I was a reality show superstar on Australian Survivor.
Hey, we're not talking about you running around naked in the jungle on a show that nobody watched, bro. We're talking about the #1 contendership for the NXT Championship. Okay, and there's a reason why I was the first entrant in this match. Because when they mention that championship, they're not talking about any of y'all. They're talking about the man that don't miss. They're talking about the 1 of 1. They talking about the A-Champion, and I am him.
What are you talking about, man? Didn't you lose the North American Championship twice? And if I am not mistaken, I think it was a 5-man match twice.
JD, we're not talking about any of that. This ain't that, okay? This match.
You got some new line and lures, nice.
5 of us, okay? This match is ours.
What do you kind of fishing do you do by your house? Like, what do you usually try to fish for?
I will have the same juice in minute 1 that I got in minute 25. Ask about me.
Melo, do not kid yourself, okay? You have been protected in this company from the very first day you walked in that door. You were like a kid running around in a petting zoo, and on Saturday, you were going to wake up inside the lion's den. The person you are in minute 1 is not going to be the same dude as minute 25. You're not going to be running around here when the lactic acid's building up in your muscles, when your lungs are screaming for air. Those quick reactions aren't going to come so quick after minute 25. I know that I can go through 25 minutes ahead.
That looks good.
And I know that I got a bigger gas tank than any of you guys.
Hey, first of all, I ain't need 25 minutes to beat you folks. Hey, the match is 25 minutes, but hey, you know what? It's cool. You wouldn't know nothing about going 25 minutes. We know. I am going to choose to ignore that comment because you've done your best Grayson Waller cosplay tonight, and I appreciate it. That's a great shirt. But I have a question for Joe Gacy.
Oh, saltwater. Okay.
What advantage did Schism Clause leave for you under the tree on Invictus Day? Everyone wants to know.
I'm already capable of thinking for a group. Individuals are selfish. And when the stakes are high, people will trample over each other just to get
At least the barbecue photos are good. You know, like I said, you never know what the turnout is going to be on any stream that you do. But at least on the positive side, got to answer a few questions, and then I get to look at good looking food here at the end. So, which is always nice. And then I'll have to go hit up the store and grab like toilet paper and a few other just little things.
I have to agree with Joe there. We all will act differently.
If there's anything that anybody wants to see here, like I said, I don't know. What are we at right now? We're at the 2 hour, and so we're almost 3 hours in. So I'll probably go, and once we hit that 3 hour mark, there is a chance that I might just end it then at that point. Maybe go a little bit longer, but like I said, I can only go at the maximum 58 minutes more, but I don't think I'm going to go that long. Sometimes you just got to take your L and then move forward and then come back tomorrow. Hopefully more people show up, and then we can just hang out and then go from there, and then just wake up and repeat. So if there's anything that you guys want to see here at the very end, I don't know how much more I'll go past the 8 more minutes and whatnot, but it'll give me some more time to it's like I said, I just so I don't care if there's like a lot of people in the room, or if, like I said, you just want to have your favorites there if they can show up and whatnot, and then hopefully you have good combos and you can hang out. It's nice and chill, and then you just got to hope and pray that you can get to like somewhat a decent number. And and so like if anything else, I'll just have to stop buying thumbs from Johnny, and I'll just have to make my own. They won't be as good, but it just doesn't make any sense for me to be spending that much if I'm not going to get results from them. I do get results on the NASCAR ones, but it just seems like with a lot of the NFL ones, there's just way too many people doing NFL, and it's just sad when it's like, if I'm going to be doing a game and they have stuff that's like reruns from like a year ago ahead of my mine on like the, if you look up a game or whatever, I shouldn't be like the 8th one down. And then if I am, why is there stuff that's like not even currently like, there's people that are live streaming like right now, like doing a game or like last night's game. Why is there a Buck Saints stream from another YouTuber, right? That was from a year ago ahead of me when I'm live right now. That's the type of shit that I have to go through. It's like, it's ridiculous, the favoritism and how they do that on there. But I don't mind if they have me on a lower position with other people that are there, but it's just kind of stupid where, you got old shit that's above you. It's like, yeah, okay. I guess that's how they do it then. They want to do your boy dirty, I guess, every day. But it's always fun hanging out with the goats, no matter what. Even if it's a big crowd or short crowd, it's always fun.
Grayson Waller is the favorite in this. My head's on a swivel. You never know who's going to strike first. Oh! It took a little bit longer than we thought, but combustible elements are exploding. What do you think? This is about that copper, baby. This is about setting the tone. It's about setting the pace. This Saturday in Denver. And Waller, touch going viral. He's going to have his opportunity.
This barbecue looks fucking good. I'm definitely going to go to the store after this. I know eating late is not good, but I'm kind of a night owl. You know, I'll still wake up early and spend time with Paisley and whatnot. But I mean, usually I stay up pretty late. I mean, sometimes it'll be 4 a.m. Sometimes it'll be earlier, but I still usually try to get up pretty early. I don't try to sleep in all day. I mean, I might wake up and take an hour walk with Paisley and then, take a little nap in the afternoon before we stream or whatnot. But oh man, I can't wait, dude. Like after doing it full time, like I'm fucking like a piece of me is missing. Like my life is like I'm missing it a lot. That in baseball, like, I never did baseball or NASCAR full time until this year. And I mean, I just absolutely fucking despise basketball. It's just absolute dog shit. I can't watch basketball really. I mean, even though I did a little bit today, but I mean, watching NBA and college hoops is like fucking, I don't know. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult to me. No, I appreciate you, Mike. Like I said, yeah, if it wasn't for you, we would be not in a very good spot today. It would have been very, very, very bad. So, air freak to air cheek. At least I'm able to find some good type of barbecue and whatnot. That's one thing that's really good that, if I look and I can use certain tag words and stuff, like I can usually find some really epic barbecue. And that's the stuff I like looking at the most. I mean, I can look at tacos and pizza and stuff, but it doesn't give me the same vibe as this. You know what I mean? This is a different type of vibe. All right, we can start it off here from the beginning. Yeah. Well, you do more than what you can do. You go above and beyond because there's, there will be some people that never do what you've already done up to this point. So, like I said, you're very valuable to the stream, and it's always a good vibe, when you come through. And I know you and Eagles get along. Eagles, John, really well. You guys have a lot in common too. So, Angel in the building. What to do? Should I run with Dulcich or Everett? Yeah, I would keep both if that's because like I'm right now in my league, I'm 12-1. And I have Gerald Everett on my bench with Mark Andrews because I've had Dulcich earlier in the year as well. And I had to like drop and pick up and drop and, sometimes just run with Mark Andrews and then get some more other pieces that were injured. But yeah, I would definitely be hanging. With Gerald Everett and Dulcich. I would keep both. Definitely don't get rid of them because those are two of the top, maybe 13 that are in the league. There's going to be guys. If you have Travis Kelce, that's one thing. And then even Mark Andrews isn't as big as Kelce. But if you got those two, you're good. But if you don't got those two, yeah, you're going to want to make sure you have options depending on if you're going through the season. Like I got Geno Smith, Nick Chubb, Saquon, Jay Jetta, D-Hop, Mark Andrews, Josh Jacobs, Cowboys D, Jason Myers. My bench is Godwin, Bills D, Herbert, Justin Fields, Latavius Murray, Odell Beckham Jr., and Gerald Everett. And I'm 12-1. So, but I also made like 100 moves this season. So, but as far as who I would run with, I know that Gerald Everett he's got the 30th. It's like a green matchup. So it's a top 3 matchup. It's going to be against Miami's defense. There is a chance where he could put up some points. His position rank is 10th overall, which is good. His projection is 8.1. And last 4 games, 8.6, 4.3, 7.8, and 13. So you can't really go wrong there if you don't have a Mark Andrews or a Travis Kelce. You're good with that because you're trying to at least get to 8. And a lot of these tight ends don't even do that. They get to like 2, 0, 4, 6, 5, and you're fucked. But if you can get to 8 or more, and even though 8 is the new 10 in tight ends for fantasy, if you can get to 8, that's like essentially getting to 10 in a normal year. The tight end position is fucked up. It's like Darren Waller got hurt, and all the guys that used to be, and Goddard got hurt. So it's like all the tight ends that used to be good. Kittle's not as reliable as he was, but he's starting to get hot again. But now you lost Jimmy G. So the tight end position is a fucking mess. But both are on the waiver. Have room for only one. Who else do you have? There's got to be some other garbage, wide receiver that you have it's like your 7th wide receiver, right? If you give me your whole team, I'll tell you who else to drop. But if you can get both, that's going to help you out. I mean, record wise. And then as far as Dulcich, I don't really trust Russell Wilson. I trust Herbert more with Everett. But if we go here, and I'll pull up what I'm looking at for him. So one sec. And I've had Dulcich on my team earlier this year, and I dropped him. Used him for like a game or two, and then I had to get other positions. But I have Gerald Everett on my bench, and then I assume you're doing PPR. And then with Dulcich, Dulcich is projected for 8.8. He's 29th position rank, but he's getting 9 a game average. And his last 4 are 2, 7, 3, and 14.5. So if it's me, I'm going Gerald Everett because that's going to give me at least, for sure, more than likely, 8 to 12 points, right? A less likely chance of getting a garbage stat line. But if you go with Dulcich, yeah, he might end up doing 14.5 or 12, 11, and 12 his first 3 games. But then he also had a stretch of 2, 7, and 3. So if you end up getting a 2, a 7, or 3 with Dulcich, do you think you can still win against the person you're playing? And if the answer is no, then you should probably go with Gerald Everett. And, obviously we know Dulcich could get like a 20-point game and blow up. But this is Russell Wilson we're talking about. And I look at consistency. Who's getting targets? What are the numbers looking like? And the safe choice would be Gerald Everett. And then if someone gets Everett, then you can pick up Dulcich and just run with it. That's what I would do. But Everett would be the one I would be targeting. That's who I have. He's on my bench. So there you go. That's great advice for you. Yeah, and Moreau is not reliable. Touchdown dependent. So he's either going to give you 10 and like 30 yards and a touchdown, or he's going to give you no touchdowns and give you 3 and like 30 yards. So, like I said, it's very, very tough to get points out of the tight end position now. So start one, bench one, cut one. I start Sam Bradford. I bench Ryan Leaf, and I cut Josh Rosen. That was easy. Good question. All right, we're at the 3-hour mark. Normally I try to do 4-hour streams, but I obviously started a little bit late, like around the 7 o'clock time. And I know my girlfriend's daughter's got to go to school tomorrow and shit. So I can't, I got the door open. I can always close the door and go for a little bit longer, but I'll let you guys kind of decide. Yeah, it's fun. It makes you learn more about the league, and it makes you very educated and smarter, more than just what your favorite players are, but the league as a whole. And it makes games more watchable when sometimes, I feel like this year, honestly, this has been some of the worst football I've ever seen. Like, I feel like this year ratings have been really down. I just feel like not just like maybe streams, but just like, I feel just the quality of the NFL. There's not as many good teams this year. There's like a lot of bad teams this year and a lot of like unwatchable games. And obviously if this is my full-time job, I have to watch the good and the bad. I got to watch Eagles and Chiefs and Bills, but fuck, man, sometimes I got to watch the Colts, or I got to watch the Buccaneers, or one of the bottom feeders. And a lot of these matchups are just really fucking bad. And I don't know. I haven't been entertained the same way in years past. I feel like as far as like the difference between bad teams, average, and like really good teams, there usually is like a good variety of like, okay, there's about 12 to 15 really good teams. But I feel with this year, it's like a handful. And there's a lot of bad fucking teams this year. And it's not fun to watch NFL this year, really, for me. Like I enjoy it, but it's not like that same excitement when we had like Rodgers peaking with Devontae, Brady, peaking with that offensive line, Stafford with the Ram. Like there's a lot of I mean, I don't necessarily need those three teams to be great, but I think just overall, and I don't mind like the Giants and the Jets being good. I think it's cool to see shit teams turn into being good teams. But the thing is like when the Jets and the Giants go from being shitty to good, how many people are going to go out of their way and be like, oh my God, the Giants are on? Unless you have like Saquon Barkley in fantasy, or, oh my God, the Jets are on. And like, maybe you love Sauce Gardner, but are you going to go out of your way to watch, 3 or 4 hours of the Jets or the Giants unless they're playing your team? Probably not. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you got teams that have some pieces, but I don't know. Still, it's just, I don't know. A lot of bad matchups to me. So, but again, hopefully it'll get spicy as we get closer to, the playoffs and whatnot. And I think it will be very spicy. So, yeah. I mean, it hasn't, but like, it hasn't been good for my team either. Like, I already knew that the season was already fucking over, and just sad that the Falcons and Panthers are so much shittier than our teams. But based off record, all of us suck. I mean, I'm finally at 500. What week are we in? I mean, it's just disgusting, but it shows you how important offensive line is. All right, man. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to probably end it here pretty soon. If there's anything else that anybody wants to see, because I mean, I imagine I could go for, even if I went for another 54 minutes, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I still got to be able to go to the store and do that. And I mean, I didn't really know if we were going to be able to get close to the goal, but I'll tell you what, since Mike was here, I mean, we at least got close to halfway to the goal rather than not at all. So shout out to Mike for being the GOAT tonight. If it wasn't for him, we would have not been in a very good position tonight. So appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much, man. All right. So I'll let you guys kind of decide at this point. I mean, it's 10:17 my time. Like I said, usually during school time, I have to cut it off by usually like 10:30 or 11, which would be like kind of the respectable thing to do. And that means if I have to start a little bit earlier, maybe I start at like 6 o'clock tomorrow. So that way it gives me a little bit more time to, grind it out and have YouTube not give any notifications out. So, maybe tomorrow I'll do 6 o'clock and we'll try to go to that 10:30 mark and kind of go from there. So if there's anything else that anyone wants to see before I go, I'm just going to kind of cycle through some of the food photos or if someone else comes in with some fantasy questions. But I think we've answered quite a few fantasy questions at this point, and I don't really think any other GOATs are going to be showing up to save the day. So, we might as well just cycle through some of these, and then I'll go to the store. I'll take my L, and I did have a good conversations. It's always fun. And some days, you hit the goal. Some days you don't. That's just the bottom line because O-Dog said so. So we'll start from the top here, and we'll go through some of these photos. And then once we go through all of these, then we'll just call it a day. And then I'll take my L, and you'll see me tomorrow. And then we'll grind it off again. So we did a lot of pork belly burnt ends. And obviously I love barbecue. So that's usually the route that we go. Sometimes we'll do like tacos or like breakfast food. But definitely was feeling like a barbecue vibe. So we'll go that route. And I'm actually kind of surprised not as many people came in for fantasy. That typically means that like they either made it to the playoffs or they didn't. And there's no point of asking questions if you're not even in the running. So, you're going to get some of those people that were like fringe, but maybe they lost last week and now they're out of it. So, that's what happens when you get towards the end. I mean, we only have 1 week left to the playoffs. So it's like, you have to be right there. Between a couple people, like usually you're going to have the top 2 seeds they've been in for quite a while. And then you have probably 2 to 4 seeds where, you don't know what's going to happen. Like you just got to kind of let some of these other games play out for themselves. So, but shout out to Mike. Appreciate you. And also we had a good donation from our boy Tyree too. So thank you to Tyree as well. We had some good quality food here. So at least on the bright side, we didn't hit the goal, but I had some good combos and I got to look at some amazing food, and now I'm hungry, and that'll be more gummies for me to eat. And there'll be, more stuff that I go attack, whether it be cookies or some kind of food that I go grab here at Safeway, which I might have to go do that now, but just grab a couple things. But yeah, it'd be really nice if I had somewhere where I could grab something like this that was still open, but we don't have a lot of places. I mean, there's like food cart places, but I mean, that's like 30 minutes from my house or like an hour. So I'm definitely not traveling that far. Everything looks good though. Little brisket sandwich. That would be crazy. No, like you take one bite and then all of them are falling out though. I like the idea, but I like kind of pulled pork is more appropriate, as far as like a sandwich. Like this, the pulled pork sandwich or that brisket where it's like a little mashed up. This Buc-ee's is insane. It's one of the best photos as far as a pulled pork and a brisket sandwich that you're going to get. I wish I had Buc-ee's over here in Oregon. I definitely would go. I mean, just looking at this picture alone, I'm sold. I mean, look at the texture of the pulled pork and look at the bun and then look at the brisket. Like, you already know that. I don't even care if that costs $10 per sandwich. I would buy it. Looks great. Damn, this Barmageddon shit that they going on. I was watching this after NXT. They got like Blake Shelton and they got all these the Kane Brown and a few other celebrities. They do like giant size beer pong and they're doing this like paddle beer pong jump off. I saw a preview for this, and then obviously Nikki Bella is one of the people like doing kind of like the microphone role on it. Everything looks so good. I'm so fucking hungry now. I don't know what I'll try to get for tomorrow, but I don't know. Maybe. Wow, that one looks insane. Southern barbecue, baby. She looks so good. Wish we had more options like this here in Oregon. I mean, we have some, but I mean, it's not going to be the same as people that live in the Midwest and the South, like no question. Oh man, that looks insane. Well, I appreciate you guys, for coming through. Hopefully we'll have a bigger turnout tomorrow, and I'll grind it out. And, I'm not sure what we're going to end up having, as far as like sports. I'll look ahead and see if they got anything, but we'll probably just chill. I mean, there's like maybe some NBA game or something like that, but we'll vibe and we'll chill and hang out. We'll look at food. We'll talk about whatever, but I do appreciate you guys. Shout out to Tyree and shout out to Mike for actually helping us get to halfway to the goal, which is a lot better than no goal at all. So that definitely helps. I appreciate you guys for coming through and everyone that came in for obviously, all the fantasy questions and whatnot. And obviously we have someone here, Jelly of the month. Lazard was dropped for a bye, put in a waiver in PPR. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if he was dropped and no one noticed and you can grab him, absolutely grab him and put him on your bench. Obviously we know Christian Watson is the number one like touchdown machine right now, but yeah, Alan the Lazard could get you 10 points or more. Maybe at wide receiver 2 would be a good spot for him, or if you had a flex that you needed someone, but yeah, I definitely would do that. So at least I got that one last question in, but I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, I will be back tomorrow. Any other fantasy questions I need to answer or anything we go into, I'll do that. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out, gang.